Disclaimer. This show is for discussion and entertainment purposes only. The Finding Gnosis show is a platform for open discussion, exploration, and opinion sharing. The views expressed by hosts, guests, and participants are personal opinions and do not constitute professional, medical, legal, or financial advice. All topics discussed are only intended to spark curiosity, entertain, and encourage independent thought. If any subject interests you, we strongly advise conducting your own thorough research using reliable and professional sources. Critical thinking and due diligence is key. Stay curious, stay informed, be well, be lucky, and don't be an arsehole.
This is the Finding Gnosis show.
The show will start when one of you clicks on the link that is to be seen in the show's chat.
Can you see it? Can you see the link? Can you see the link in the show's chat? When you feel compelled to speak, click on the link, click on the link.
This is the Finding Gnosis show. The show will start when one of you clicks on the link that is to be seen in the chat.
When you feel compelled to speak,
Click on the link,
what do you want to say?
click on the link,
What do you want to say?
click on the link. The show will start when you click on the link and say, click on the link. This is the Finding Gnosis show. This is the Finding Gnosis show. The show will start when one of you clicks on the link that will be seen in the show's chat.
Can you see it? Can you see the link? When you feel compelled to speak, click on the link. Click on the link in the show's chat.
This is the Finding Gnosis show.
The show will start when one of you clicks on the link that is to be seen in the show's chat.
Can you see it? Can you see the link? Can you see the link in the show's chat? When you feel compelled to speak, click on the link, click on the link.
1 second.
This is the Finding
I'll be right back.
Gnosis show.
Hello?
Hello there. 1 second, buddy.
When one of
Okay.
clicks on the link that is to be seen in the chat.
When you feel compelled to speak,
Click on the link,
what do you want to say?
click on the link.
What do you want to say?
The show will start when you click on the link and say, click on the link. This is the fun.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Finding Gnosis show. I do hope you are exceedingly well. We have with us Kenny. Kenny, you're on the Finding Gnosis show. The question is it really that bad out there, Kenny? There's talk of worldwide polycrisis, things going wrong all over the shop. But Kenny, is it really that bad out there? You're out there in the field. Can you report back to us?
It's not all that bad, no. No,
So,
I remain optimistic about
Right.
life in general.
okay. So what
Yeah.
do you think of all this? Would you call it scaremongering?
There definitely is a lot of scaremongering, but there's also legitimate reasons why people need to be worried. It's a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. So,
Yeah.
Kenny, when you say things are not all that bad, is it because you're comparing it to the past, your past experience? I mean, would you say rather than things being bad, they're actually better than when you were younger, for example.
No, I
In some
think things were actually better when I was younger.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it has deteriorated, but it's not terrible.
Correct.
Okay.
But
So
on the current trajectory, I think things are getting worse. Yeah,
so it's still good, but we're in danger of
Still good.
becoming bad.
but there's a lot of work to be done. Yeah.
Okay. So would you like to give your opinion on what is going wrong, perhaps what we should be looking out for?
The things that are going wrong are since the 2008 financial crisis, when you had all the austerity, and they said that things would get better. Ever since then, there's just been increasing inflation, higher tax, higher energy prices. On top of that, you have the totalitarian creep, the clampdown on freedom of speech. And, you know, the UK now has more people arrested for online tweets and Facebook comments than Russia. How the hell did we get there?
Free speech, eh?
Yeah.
So you talk about this totalitarian creep. Where do you think it's going to? What is this totalitarian regime potentially going to be like if we let it happen?
Well, we can't have people getting locked up for things that they post, whether it's because they've misgendered someone, some trans person, or whether they've expressed views against the Muslim community or mass immigration. I know that's probably a bit of an exaggeration, like Lucy Connolly, for example. She went a step further than that. She was actually calling for people to burn down the asylum hotels. But she deleted the tweet. But they still jailed her. Yeah. Even after she deleted it.
Yeah. I suppose there is a line, though. If you call for somebody...
She spent 18 months in jail.
It's a long time.
When you had Hugh Edwards, he was found with child pornography on his laptop or wherever it was. And
he didn't even get any bird.
The community service or something.
I don't think he got any bird at all. I don't think he got any jail time at all, did he?
No, he never. And that sometimes happens when a member of the Muslim community or the refugee community has found to have sexually assaulted a child. The judge has refused to jail them. How the hell did we arrive here? There's so many aspects of the system and the society at large that are broken. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you're just calling for the same treatment for everybody. You don't want anybody to be punished more severely than others. You just want everything to be fair.
Equality of law, equality before the law has to actually mean equality before the law. Everybody has to be treated the same before the law, regardless of their immigration system, regardless of their skin color, regardless of their gender, and regardless of, anything else. The only thing that they should be judged on is the crime that they committed.
Kenny, sorry. What is happening then? Where is this going and why is it happening? That's what I want to understand, in your view.
That's a good question. Why the hell is it happening? Where is it going? Well, you've got a lot of pushback at a political and a street activist level. The pushback at a political level is the rise of Reform UK. So Nigel Farage is currently the bookie's favourite to be the next Prime Minister. Because I don't think he's going to tolerate any of this kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. And you think he's the man for the job, do you?
Say that again, sorry?
You don't think he's a little bit of a grifter, a little bit of an opportunist? Do you think his heart's in the right place?
No, I don't think he's a grifter. He's been very consistent in his beliefs. I've listened to his speeches in the European Union and going back to when he started UKIP, and he's always believed and said the same thing. You know?
Kenny, what about the other crises going on in the world? Because, you know, polycrisis is about everything that is going on. What other crises do you see in the world?
Social media addiction. There's less societal connection, interpersonal connections between people. You know, I'm sitting in the bars and the restaurants and looking at couples that are supposed to be on a date with each other, and then they're looking into their phones. It's the same with circles of friends. So there's a social media and phone addiction that I too myself am guilty of having. And I'm reading a book called The Dose Effect. DOSE. And dose stands for dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. And the book tells you how to break your phone addiction. And one of the ways that I've done it is I downloaded a widget that tells me how many hours of my phone screen has been active. And then when I go into that in the drop-down menu, it tells me which apps I've been on. So 2 weeks ago, I uninstalled and deactivated my Facebook account because it was just too addictive. And I've set myself a goal of 5 hours maximum screen time.
A day?
And I've had that widget for a month. And I think there's only been about 5 days that I've managed to stay underneath that goal. So in a less drastic, less noticeable kind of way, phone addiction is a big problem. And the reason it's not noticed is because so many people have it. So it's like a norm, but it's given rise to a mental health crisis amongst the young people today, and everyone who has a phone addiction, actually. So that's something that we, rather than the state intervening, we need to take the responsibility to be more aware, educated, and disciplined on the effects on your dopamine levels, your motivational levels, that having a phone addiction can have on your mental health.
I hear what you're saying, Kenny, and it is worrying, but the trajectory of society is looking the other way, brother. It's looking like it's potentially going to get worse. I mean, we're living in smart homes now. Everything is connected to the internet, not just your phone. You know, there's virtual reality headsets, there's virtual reality smart spectacles. Who knows what else there is? I mean, your car has a touch screen. I mean, it's everywhere, isn't it, Kenny? So what are you going to do about it?
I think we'll get to a point of critical mass where it will get that bad that people will be forced into taking a look at themselves. And I think people will become more disciplined. You know, like self-help is a big thing. There's so many videos on YouTube about psychology and self-development, and people, when they're watching people like Steve Bartlett's The Diary of a CEO YouTube channel, and people like Andy Huberman talking about, even Jordan Peterson, talking about smartphone addictions and the effects of it on our mental health, I think more people are going to be watching these videos and making changes gradually. It'll take a long time. Maybe as much as 2 generations. Who knows? Yeah, I think Keir Starmer's going to ban smartphones for under 16s, ban social media for under 16s. Now, some people might look at that and say that's a bit of a slippery slope because it's the state intervening in our lives. But, you know, because of the mental health crisis amongst young people, I think it's an intervention that's needed.
Okay, Kenny, thanks for that. We've got our man in the field in America, Untrackable. Untrackable, what have you got to say about this subject? The worldwide polycrisis, in particular, you could give it your thoughts on what Kenny has been talking about as well. Mass immigration, freedom of speech being threatened, and also freedom of expression, and also the addiction to social media, the internet that seems to be plaguing humanity.
Addiction will always be a hell of a drug.
Addiction will always be a hell of a what drug? Is that what you said? Can you speak a bit closer to your microphone there, please, Untrackable?
Addiction will always be a hell of a drug.
Sounds like you're not as hopeful as Kenny. You don't know if we can break out of that problem.
Well, it's not about the we so much as the me. Does that make sense? Like
it's up to you it's up to us as individuals. Is that okay? The omniscient Shogun says Kenny is delusional. The numbers of people who are plugged into the Matrix are far too many. They will even fight to defend the Matrix that keeps them enslaved. Kenny, you have a naysayer there, someone who is calling you too much of a Pollyanna. What do you think of that?
A Pollyanna?
Well, they're saying that you're delusional. They say the number of people who are plugged into the Matrix are far too many. They will even fight to defend the Matrix that keeps them enslaved. So they're saying it cannot be defeated at this stage.
Well, how does that person define what the Matrix is? I mean, when I'm talking about an addiction to social media, I'm not saying to come off it completely. I'm saying to limit your screen time and don't mindlessly doom scroll just when you're getting into bed. You know, like you could set aside 60 minutes, a gap at the end of the night and early in the morning, because however you start your day off, that's how you're setting the tone for the rest of your day. So many people, the first thing they do when they wake up is they grab their phone, they check notifications. They're getting notifications about a debate that they've been on Facebook, and then they're carrying on that same debate the next again morning. But instead, when you wake up, don't look at your phone, unless it's to snooze the alarm or whatever. Go to the toilet, brush your teeth, make your bed, have a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee. And that effort of making it talks about in the book, the dose effect, how genuine dopamine comes from dopamine that's acquired from making an effort, from achieving a certain goal. But the trouble with social media is when you're scrolling short form videos, you're getting a dopamine dump without any effort. All you have to do is move your thumb a little bit and you're getting the same amounts of dopamine into your brain as what you have when you've cut the grass, or made the garden look really beautiful, or done a session at the gym, or made love with your special half, you know? So it's how easy it is that dopamine is to come by, and how quickly in quick succession it can happen. It makes the social media so addictive. It's like, oh, I don't have to make any effort. I can just get my dopamine hit by scrolling my thumb on the social media. So I'm not saying to come off the matrix completely, but use it more sensibly. Like, for example, on YouTube, instead of watching all these shorts, like on TikTok, watch videos that are a bit longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
one of the things it talks about in that book.
Some good advice there. Go ahead, Untrackable.
yeah, I agree with what my man said, Kenny. Instead of going on these static personalities,
We can't hear you, Untrackable. Can you speak louder, please?
Am I loud enough?
Kenny, can you hear Untrackable?
Yeah, it's just that there's a little bit of traffic. What was it you said?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Yeah. So I agree with what you said about the doom scrolling.
Uh-huh.
But we can spend time live. And this is life right now. This is not some pre-recorded opinion. This is us right now.
So you're saying live streams are real life, and in your view, going on the internet, going on live streams is better than consuming media on the internet that isn't live. Is that what you're saying? That doesn't allow interaction. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Fair enough. Omniscient Shogun says, Kenny, they're not saying you're wrong, but you must understand the overwhelming majority will always choose comfort over resistance. What do you say to that?
Well, unfortunately, you can see it's that point in that book. You know, that's why you have the wealth distribution gap. The market rewards those who are able to not choose comfort, who are capable of delayed gratification and sacrifice. Yeah. So these socialists who cry about equality, if you want equality, get off your fucking phones, get out of bed, fix your dopamine levels, go to the gym, get fit and healthy, read, do something about it. Make yourself more valuable to the market. But you're all, like the person said, you're always going to get people who are not going to do that. And that's one of the biggest drivers of income inequality. It's not some sinister cabal keeping the poor man down. The poor man's quite capable of keeping himself down.
What do you think of that?
That I run 75 speed.
Okay, we have Fatima on the show. Fatima, what is it you'd like to say in relation to the topic today?
Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? Doing all right.
Would you like to turn your microphone up a bit, please, or at least speak into it?
Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay, so hi everyone. How's everyone doing? Yeah, so today's topic, the worldwide polycrisis. Are things really that bad? You want to know something? I saw my father today, right? And we went to eat out, and he told me that everything that he thought about his life was a lie. Everything he thought about America was a lie and fake. And now he's officially done with politics, and now he wants to retire early. And this is in relation to the Epstein files. And he says that I hate everyone in the White House. I hate everyone that was ever in the White House. I hate everyone that even tries to give credence to those people, to defend those people. And he says, he felt ashamed that he ever came here in the first place.
So is this another crisis you'd say worldwide? People are losing faith in governmental institutions. Is that what you're saying? People are losing faith in their governments?
Not only that, but he lost faith in ordinary people too. He said that because we were walking in the mall, and he looked at everyone, and he gave a very dismissive wave at them. Look at these people. These people are just fake. They didn't do anything about their own sufferings and injustices. And I was like, whoa, man, you all right? And that's what he said.
Sounds like he was. Forgive me, but he was making presumptions. He was maybe even overgeneralizing. He doesn't know those people. He doesn't know what they're going through or what they've done or what they are doing.
He's talking about in relation to the files being released and people not doing anything about,
Same point. He doesn't know what any of those people are doing. There are people who are outraged by it and calling for transparency and calling for heads to roll.
But he says that he wants to see things happen. Otherwise, they're not serious about it. That's what he wants. He wants to see a revolution. But he says he sees absolutely zero anything. That's why he wants to leave early. He wants to retire now, even harder. He's a man in his late 50s now.
Does he think it's going to be better somewhere else in the world?
Does he think? He knows it's not, but at least it's not in a place where it's very, in his eyes, very corrupt. The most corrupt place in the world, he says. Which is the United States, and I agree with him because I've had this feeling too before, a lot. And I try to convince him about it, and he's like, he just it gives a dismissiveness. But now that he's on board, he says he always had feelings about it, but he has doubts. He had doubts, but now he's not. And so and I was like, dang. So for the first time in my life, you actually had some coherence in your thought. That's what I said to him. Kind of jokingly.
Right. I don't know, Kenny. Do you think the Epstein files and the fallout from that are part of a wider crisis? Are they part of the polycrisis? Is that another problem somehow in the world?
Well, the book that I read called by John Ronson called The Psychopath Test.
By the way, Kenny, we have somebody in the chat, Brother Marcus, asking, do you read ebooks, paperbacks, or audiobooks? How do you consume these books in general?
I read physical books, paperbacks, and sometimes hardbacks.
Okay, brother, that was the question. Thanks for answering. Go ahead, sorry.
Okay, so Ron Johnson, in his book called The Psychopath Test, he said that the population of CEOs has as many psychopaths per capita as the prison population. Psychopaths are often driven towards roles that are going to allow them to have control over other people's lives. And sometimes that attracts sadistic types. Not necessarily in the sense where they'll commit crime, but they'll ruin other people's lives in really covert kind of ways. So what you're seeing with the Epstein files, let's bear in mind one thing, that being in the Epstein files is in itself not necessarily mean that you have committed a crime, okay? So one example is Elvis Presley was in the Epstein files. And the reason he was in the Epstein files is because he, in an email exchange between Jeffrey Epstein and some movie director, they were talking about marketing. And they referenced Elvis Presley's album, The 30 Greatest Hits, or the 30 number one hits, as a marketing success
It's funny you
model that
say
they could use to. Okay, so there's an example of someone being in the Epstein files who died in 1977.
it's
so-
funny you say that because like Elvis Presley did marry like his 13-year-old cousin, you know, when he was like 23.
You're wrong there.
He didn't marry his cousin. It
And
wasn't
if
his
you
cousin.
go, no, he never, no, Jerry Lee Lewis married his 13-year-old cousin.
Oh,
That's what the film with Dennis Quaid and Winona Ryder is about. Great Balls of Fire.
oh
It was
yeah.
not Elvis Presley.
Well, that wasn't Elvis. That was oh yeah, that was Jerry.
I think
Lee.
Elvis did go for her when she was young. He did. I think that's
Oh.
true. She wasn't.
Yeah, but Priscilla Presley in her book said that they never had sex until she was 16.
That's still pretty young.
Yeah, but it doesn't make him a fucking pedophile, though.
No, but it does make him something else. I forgot the word. Is it hebephile or ebephile? I forgot the word.
I don't know.
I agree with Fatima. What Fatima said. I think the people are the problem, and people are the government. And the reason the government is the way it is because of the people, their
Yes.
apathy, and they will go on social media and post comments, and they think that doing that is activism. It's like, no, you actually have to do the work,
Yes,
and they
yes,
don't want to do the work. They leave. Most people are free riders. Like it's like a very small percentage of the population that are activists, and then the rest of everybody else, they're just observers. And as far as the Epstein files, I think it is performative. I think people are only interested because it's salacious, because it's dealing with celebrities and sex. They don't actually care about the victims. They don't.
No, of course not.
They're and it's like there's so many other injustices that happen on a routine basis that nobody cares about. So all of a sudden, this Epstein debacle happens, and all of a sudden, everybody cares about fairness and democracy and the rule of law. And it's like, no, you don't. When has anybody ever cared about the rule of law? I was just talking about that on my channel, chapter 8 of my book, because I explicitly call the public out. Like, if you want to blame the state, like, who's behind the state? Who authorizes state violence? It's the public. Anytime something happens to somebody, you can go on social media right now and go like on YouTube where the police officers beat somebody up or like smash their windows or something. You will see nothing but comments after comment after comments, basically saying, "Yeah, get them," like, and they're like taking some kind of sadistic pleasure out of watching somebody be the violence of state violence. Or you can watch like a court show, like if Judge Judy like humiliates somebody on television. They enjoy it. Like they love this stuff. Like it's like, do you think that you're exempt from it? Do you think that you're not going to be the victim of state violence? Like that's the part I don't understand. There's a disconnect where they think it's happening to somebody else and it's not going to happen to them.
Yeah, that's what they all think. They think, oh, that's that, but that's their kids, not my kids. That's like their reasoning, and that's like what my dad said. You know, oh, that's just their kids, and that's his explanation for why people don't care. It's like, oh, those are their kids, not my kids. You know, or something along those lines. He said that, yeah.
And they don't even see state violence as being violence at all. Like if a private actor were to come up to you with a gun and steal your money at gunpoint, they would see that as theft. But when a police officer does it, oh, that's not violence. Like that's just legitimate authority. It's like, no, he's stealing your money at gunpoint. He is a road pirate. Why isn't anybody seeing what is actually going on?
LA, your point about people not caring about the children, I think, is misguided.
No, it's true.
I think there's many cases of people, being angry about pedophiles who haven't being celebrities. I know that, you know, it's happened in this country with some of the grooming gangs. It's happened in the Catholic Church. It's happened in the Anglican Church. It's happened with teachers. None of these people have been celebrities. Yes, they probably, you could say they've been in positions of power. I think you're a little bit, I think you're very much misguided to say people don't care about the abuse of children.
Nah, I don't.
No,
I don't
no,
think so.
but you can look. It's not just the Epstein thing. It's the whole Diddy. It's R. Kelly. There's
Diddy, R.
like
Kelly.
so many examples where it's salacious and it's about sex, and all of a sudden there's so much more interest in it than it would be if there were no sex. Like it. I mean, you're talking about children. Children, that's only a small part of it. A lot of these were grown women.
Yeah, grown
And
women too.
they don't care. They don't care. Like, this is so performative. It's like, what about all the abuses that happen that people actually see and they don't do anything about?
Yeah. The sale of human.
What? What?
The sale of human.
The sales? Like you're selling something?
The sale of human.
No, but I mean,
we
okay, but
do
what
our
about
best.
the?
We do our best to not exploit.
Do our best.
We do our best to not sell things that don't meet the grade.
What
They
what
meet
are
the
you-
grade.
Mm.
Well, you know, I've seen the meme. I've seen the meme. What grade of banana do you pick? Do you pick the green one?
No.
Do you pick the perfect yellow one?
Perfect yellow one,
Do
or
you
the
pick
ones
the-
that have tiny black spots, just a tiny bit of black spots.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you ready for the real world?
Ready for what? You're kind of breaking up. I'm sorry. I think it's me, or could you say it again?
Are you ready
Mhm.
for the real?
Are you ready for the real world? What does that even mean, untrackable? What is the real world? I want to bring. I want to bring it back to the Epstein files, though, because it is an interesting conversation. What type of a crisis is this? As I said, are people losing trust in governments? Do you think it's really scared the human population because they're seeing overtly that you know, the powers that be are, you know, literally getting into bed with each other, doing all manner of terrible things that, you know, all of the rest of us would say are deplorable. What do you think? What is it doing? Whether it's true or not, in all cases, what is it doing to the collective human psyche?
It's what I say. I could answer that. What it's doing is it's causing them guilt because they know that they are complicit. They know that we have a two-tier system, and they are the ones who authorize it. They know that this happened on their watch, and it's been going on for years. And this is probably not the only example. And they are responsible. They know that they are. The public is absolutely complicit.
Kenny, what have you got to say about it? What is the Epstein situation doing to the collective human psyche?
Well, it's kind of confirmed people's suspicions, especially on the so-called conspiracy theory realm. You know, you had Alex Jones, who was talking about Jeffrey Epstein back in 2008 and before.
Did he literally name his name back then?
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And he was talking about sex trafficking rings back then, you know. I'm not saying Alex Jones was right about everything.
Yeah, now he's controlled opposition. Yeah.
But let's remember one thing. It was Donald Trump, as you can see, I'm wearing a MAGA hat. It was Donald Trump that blew the whistle on Jeffrey Epstein. And when he found out that he had a very unhealthy attraction to teenagers, young teenagers, he banned him from his Mar-a-Lago club and excommunicated him. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, but he's never flown to the island. He used Jeffrey Epstein's plane to fly from Florida to Atlanta when he was trying to get his casino up and running. And they were both like buddies hanging out in the
some say
Springs Rich Boys Club.
Some say they only fell out because of some kind of shenanigans with property, that Trump was looking to buy a property and Epstein knew about it and went in behind the scenes and got it, you know, even though he knew his so-called friend wanted it. Did you hear that story?
I heard it was Donald Trump that successfully bought the property when he knew that Jeffrey Epstein was trying to. It was the other way about. And that happened after they fell out, after Donald Trump banned them from Mar-a-Lago.
Fair enough. You have some detractors in the comments. They're saying, "Wake up, Kenny. Trump is just as guilty." And
no, it's Donald Trump that's released the Epstein files. It's Donald Trump that helped cooperate with the police.
Come on the show, guys. Come on the show, guys. Don't just stay.
No, that's not true. That came from Congress. That Trump was resisting releasing the Epstein files. Trump had nothing to do with it.
It was his campaign promise to release it, to release the files.
Okay, but the Department of Justice
held on to the Epstein files for 4 years and never released them. Do you think if they had any dirt on Donald Trump that they wouldn't have released them?
I don't think it's an either or. I think both sides are complicit. But the version that it was heavily redacted. It was Congress that pushed for unredacted files.
So if it's redacted, then you don't know what he's hiding.
It was heavily redacted. It was like indiscernible. You couldn't even tell what they were saying. Like, it wasn't useful at all. So the version that Trump released was redacted, but Congress
almost putting an end to the British monarchy. There you are.
I don't Can you repeat what you just said?
I said the Epstein files have been so useful, the information in it, that it's almost bringing an end to the British monarchy in its current form. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew, has been the first royal since the 16th or 15th century to be arrested.
Right, yeah, he's an ex-royal, but
King Charles he's still in the line of succession. The government are trying to bring in legislation to take him out of the line of succession. Although he's had his titles taken away, by blood, he's still in the line of succession.
Right, I'm just saying the unredacted file. No, the redacted files were useful. Like they were, you couldn't use them. Like, but the redacted file. Let me just step back for a minute. It wasn't until Congress pushed for them to be unredacted that they were able to get any information out of it.
Right. Okay.
So it wasn't the Trump administration that did it.
No.
I would question this as well. Why is only the United States Congress being responsible for these files? Are there not other governments that have these files and can do said things with them? Why is it only the United States government that is being responsible for these files?
What's been said in the Epstein files and like people talking about the Epstein files from what's come out of them, that Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of Russia, the Russian intelligence services, to set up a blackmailing ring, sex ring. So there'll be some files that the Russia has for sure with regards to Jeffrey Epstein and potentially Israel. Yeah.
Why is it such? I mean, for things to be brought to light, that's a beautiful thing when you think about justice.
Yeah.
But on a global scale, why is Russia not doing such things? Why is Israel not doing such things? Why are not, so many other places doing such things? Oh, it's just a U.S. thing to bring light to justice. People say that the United States is hey, when the world has a problem, the United States steps in.
I don't know about that. I don't know where the Epstein Island was located, but I think one of the issues is jurisdiction. Like, at the very least, United States had jurisdiction over Epstein himself in personam jurisdiction, but then there's subject matter jurisdiction of where the island was located and where these women were abducted. A lot of them were abducted from the United States, so that gives the United States jurisdiction.
I want to give the Absurd a chance to say something. He's just joined. Absurd, you're on the Finding Gnosis show. What is it you'd like to say?
Well, I would like to respond to Kenny and say that Trump himself said that the Epstein files were irrelevant and fake news. And even his, I think he even said too that the pictures of him and Jeffrey Epstein were AI, and basically like try to gaslight everyone and make it seem like they never met each other or knew each other. And on top of that, his Attorney General Pam Bondi said that if they were to prosecute everyone in the Epstein files, society would collapse or whatever, the whole system would collapse. So that shows you right there that Trump he's just as guilty and as in on it as the rest of them. Because
What's he guilty of?
Well, he's at least guilty of being someone who delays and denies justice to the victims because he doesn't want to go after them. The perpetrators. He's guilty of being someone who denies justice to the victims because he doesn't seem to believe in going after the perpetrators of all the crimes against the victims.
But you mentioned jurisdiction, and doing the right thing has no jurisdiction, as far as I'm concerned.
Who are you talking about? Are you talking about me or Kenny?
Right, but that's not how the law works, though. You have to have in personam jurisdiction and subject matter jurisdiction. You can't just investigate and prosecute people without jurisdiction.
You can prove things outside of your jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is, like you said, it's the law. It's the law. It's the law. You can preach the law all day long, but what is right, and what is wrong is wrong.
No, but you have to do things like subpoena records, and you can't subpoena records without jurisdiction.
Wait, I'm confused. What is this point about? I'm kind of confused.
It's a tangential issue. We're just having a side discussion about why the United States is the only the only state that is investigating the Epstein files.
Is or is not investigating.
Right, because at this point they don't seem to be investigating it, right? Because
No, they're
again,
not, dude. The fucking Pat Bondi literally denied them all. So yeah,
right, that's what I just said. Yeah, he
yeah.
said
Like
that
I
they.
swear, I swear, like anyone who supports America is like freaking like a Satanist to me, and this is coming from an American, you know.
Let me
Yeah.
just talk about other
Did you
examples,
say
though.
anyone that supports America is a Satanist?
Yeah, and I mean that wholeheartedly. I will die on that hill forever, and
Let-
I'm an American.
You know that when Hillary
Hold
Clinton
on, hold
was,
on,
That
hold on,
that
hold on,
statement
hold on,
doesn't
hold on,
even
hold
deserve
on. Shots
any
have been fired.
validation whatsoever. It's one of the most ridiculous statements
You don't
could
even
make.
live in America, and you're wearing that hat. You're so dumb. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, whatever, mate. Whatever.
There's no
Yeah,
need
why
to
do you
talk
support
about-
Trump?
Please don't give. Don't be personal. Talk about the ideas here, please.
No, but again, why does he support Trump,
Yeah, it
knowing
makes no
what we
sense.
just
It's not your country.
right?
I support Trump because he's not just making America great again, he's making the whole fucking world
No,
great
he's
again.
not.
No, he's
Again,
not. He
he's
literally
Yes.
fucking ruined
Yes, he
Venezuela.
fucking is.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's gonna go to war with Iran. Are you dumb? Like, you have to be dumb as fuck. I'm sorry.
Do you know how
I'm
many
so-
fucking people the Iranian IRGC have murdered in cold blood over the last 2 months?
You know how many people of
50,000. You
America
expect them
fucking
just to
killed
do
in the
nothing?
Iraq war? You know how many people killed in Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam, Venezuela, Colombia? Dude, I swear to God, you are so illiterate on history. Jesus fucking Christ. Holy crap, man. Like,
You honestly think you should just stand by and do nothing and let the IRGC continue to fund its Islamic terrorist proxies in the Middle East and destabilize the region?
What are you
that's,
talking
No,
that's America and
tens of
Israel,
thousands of
dumbass.
protesters.
Islamophobia. What
No.
about the terrorism
And you
committed
think
by
that Trump could
Israel?
just sit idly by and
Exactly.
allow them to acquire a nuclear weapon?
Wait, or what
You're the
about
one
the
that's
fact?
fucking
Wait. What about
I
the fact that
support
the
Iran
Islam?
having any weapons they want. That's their right. It's their country.
Wait,
It's
or
their-
what about the fact? What about the fact too that the Islamic State and other terrorist organizations were literally invented by the CIA?
Yes.
What about that?
CIA. Yes. You have no argument
All right,
against
guys.
that.
Now, Fatima, Absurd, give them a chance to talk back, please. Please don't talk over them. When you're making your points, the other people will remain quiet. Please do the same for them. It's basic manners. Okay,
Jesus
go ahead, Kenny.
fucking Christ.
Yeah, these emasculated cucks.
Oh, shut the fuck up, bro.
Shut the fuck
No,
up.
you're a cuck.
You're a cuck.
You're the cuck.
You're the
And
cuck.
all the Islamic terrorist groups are just CIA inventions. Yeah, whatever. It's not
Yes,
because
they are.
the Islamist fundamentalists hate Israel, hate Jews,
Yes.
hate Christians, hate non-Muslims.
They hate the
and want to
IDF
take over
because
the
they're
whole
killing their
fucking
people.
world.
Dude,
Not because of that, is it?
Dude, Iran designates ISIS as an enemy group. Why would they be funding any Islamic radicalist group? Iran hates ISIS. They hate Al Qaeda because they were funded by America and the CIA. You are so
That's an
illiterate.
internal schism. That's
No,
Sunni
it is
Muslims.
not. It
ISIS
is
are
not.
Sunni Muslims.
It is
The
not.
Islamic regime
No,
are
you're
Shia
dumb.
Muslims. You're a dumb cuck.
No, I'm
No, you're
not.
the
Dude.
cuck. You're literally
an
simping
You're
for
the
Trump.
cuck.
No,
You're the
no.
cuck. You don't even know what country you belong to anymore.
Exactly.
You don't even know what country you're in.
I'm Scottish, and Donald Trump is half Scottish.
I push back against the use of the word terrorism because it's always Islamophobic. Only Muslims can be terrorists. Nobody ever calls Israel
Dude, the
terrorist.
IDF has killed more people than any.
95% of
Israel is
terrorist
terrorist.
atrocities committed by
Israel is a
Muslims.
terroristic
That's a fact.
state.
No,
Israel is a
95%
terroristic
They're
state.
psyops.
of
I thought you would
terrorism
know this
worldwide
already. I
is
thought you would know
committed by
this.
Islamic
Half of them are inside jobs.
fundamentalists.
Half of the Islamic terrorists that happen in the US are Islamic freaking are inside jobs by the CIA and the MIS. Like, what are you even talking about, man? Like, oh my God. Like,
Are we
I
going
don't
to
even
call
believe I'm having
out?
this
Give me one
conversation in
example of an
2026
inside
with
job,
someone
a
who
terrorist
doesn't even
attack
belong
that's
in
an inside
America
job.
and live in Scotland. What right do you have talking about anything about any world?
It's
You are
called
so
free
illiterate.
speech.
Some people
It's
can
called
have
free
it
speech.
because some
That's
people
my
are so
right.
stupid to have it. I swear to God. Holy shit, man.
All right, all right.
What?
One at a time, please. One at a time. Kenny, go ahead. They've been shouting over you, so go ahead,
Yeah,
Kenny.
give me one example of an inside terrorist attack that was allegedly committed by Muslims, but you're going to tell me that was committed by the American government. Give me one.
9/11. 9/11.
9/11, the Boston bombing. What else?
9/11.
Bali, the
How the hell
insurrectionists
could
in
America
Thailand.
commit 9/11 against itself?
What? What? Say that again?
What evidence do you have that America committed 9/11 as an inside
Oh my
job?
God!
No,
Oh my God!
I
No,
know,
it
right?
wasn't the United States. It was Israel.
But come
Saudi
on, but we're
Arabia,
in
Israel,
junction
and
with the United
America.
States, though. Come on.
Oh
Israel.
my God! You,
Well, yeah,
One
I
at a
but
can't
time,
believe
we're
I'm
in
please.
having this
conjunction with the
conversation with
United
you right
States.
now. I
Okay.
cannot believe we're having
When I'm
this
asking you a
conversation.
question, please don't lose your shit. Just give me some evidence. That's all I'm asking. What evidence do you have that America
Look it up
committed
on your
9/11?
own.
Huh?
Look it up on your own.
Oh,
It's out
is
there
that
in
the
the
nature of
open.
you?
It's been
Is that your quality
declassified. It
of
has been
debate?
declassified. It's not that hard to read
You're
history.
spewing a load of fucking bullshit, and I'm asking you what evidence you have, and you're saying look it up on your own. Come on, lad. Tell me
Literally,
what evidence you know
look
of
at the words of
that
freaking Dick
points.
Cheney and freaking Netanyahu. Look at their own words. They say this was planning since the early 90s. Look at their own speeches, the files that have been declassified from their own end. They literally
Right.
admitted. Israelis literally admitted, and they people don't fucking care for whatever reason.
But here's the thing, though. If we were to call Israel a terroristic state, everybody would be talking about anti-Semitism. But you can freely say that Muslims are terrorists. It's a complete double standard. Israel commits far more violence, and the only difference between the so-called jihadists and Israel is that the jihadists don't have a state. So because they have a state, their violence is legitimate.
Yeah, that's
You're
completely
right.
correct. Actually, that's
So
actually correct analysis, and literally, it has been declassified information that like ISIS and Al Qaeda were literally funded by the CIA. Al Qaeda came from the Afghan Mujahideen groups that fight the Soviet Union in the Soviet Afghan War, and ever since that ended, I cannot say his name, but the people who they think did 9/11, even though it wasn't him, his name starts with an O. He was trained directly by
Osama
the
bin
CIA.
Laden. Why can't you
He-
say that?
Oh, I don't know about like YouTube guidelines, DNW, and like how the UK is with him, because like yeah. So okay, Osama bin Laden, yeah. So I can say his name. Okay, cool. So Osama bin Laden, he was trained by the CIA to do all these things to kill the Soviets. Blah blah blah. The Soviet Union ended, and that created a power vacuum in Afghanistan, and that's how he got all the power because he radicalized everyone that was trained by the CIA in the former Afghan Mujahideen, and that's how Al Qaeda was created, and they spread the terror all over the world.
Okay, Fatima, you're pointing. It's them. It's them. It's them. What about the perhaps more horrific situation where it's all of them? There may be corrupt entities at the top of a lot of governments, at a lot of institutions.
Of course, absolutely, but at the same time,
so why blame any one of them when maybe it's all of them?
because America has unfortunately like a technological and super intelligence a monopoly all over the world. The only country I can think of during that era was the Soviet Union with the KGB, and that's about it. And now it's no one else. Now everyone is just trying to have their own information war against the USA. So yeah.
So what I'm getting from this conversation is, Fatima, you as an American are not happy that there's a man on this side of the pond cheering on America.
Absolutely not. No one should be. No one should be.
So why the fuck are you in America then? Get the fuck out.
What the fuck, dude?
Traitor! You're a traitor!
No, I'm not. It's a right to criticize. First of all, I never identified with Americans. I didn't choose where I was born, retard. So yeah, that's another thing.
No, I think the real traitors are the people who side with Israel over the American people. Those are the traitors.
Well, I personally hate the American people. So and I plan to leave this year anyway, somewhere else.
Where are you going to go, Fatima?
Probably either Thailand or like Spain. I have family there.
So
don't come to Europe. We don't want cunts like you in this fucking continent.
I'm not coming to Scotland, retard.
I said, don't come to Europe.
You don't tell me what to do, dumbass.
Yeah. There's enough jihadi fuckwits like you in Europe. We don't want any more.
There's enough Zionist fuckwits.
Strip or something, or Pakistan, yeah?
There's enough Zionist fuckwits. How about that?
There's enough of you people out there in the world. I'm not going to do anything. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, you people have
Anyway,
no...
guys. I'm trying to create some unity here. It's not going too well.
No.
I'm talking about the worldwide polycrisis, okay? Things that are affecting us all, okay? Now, apparently, polycrisis is a new term. It was termed a few years ago. I can't remember exactly when, but basically, there's lots of ways shit is hitting the fan all over the world. And and it's all happening at once, and they're all really, really catastrophic and terrible.
Yes.
And they are all singularly very dangerous and detrimental to life on this planet as we know it. So that's what we're meant to be talking about. And I want to hear more about that. Like,
Can we go back to the Epstein files? Because
why is that related to the topic? You have to tell me how it's related to the topic, LA.
Because I was talking about the hypocrisy and how the American people are
Jesus
complicit.
Christ. Look at that fucking flick. Disgusting.
Because look,
Oh, Fatima.
right. So he supports
your lips, mate, until it's your turn to talk, please.
Oh my God.
he supports a terroristic state, but he's so the hypocrisy is
According
palpable.
to you, LA, all states are forms of terrorism. So I don't know.
Yeah, I do. But Israel,
moral relativism at its finest.
no, right? They are terrorists, but Israel is like the worst. But let me
they
just,
are the worst. Objectively.
now let me just. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because when Hillary Clinton was the Secretary of State, they had all these mysterious deaths. Like all her staff members were just dying like flies, and everybody knows that what she did, and nobody's going to investigate that. There's so many examples every day of like injustices where people just come up missing, and nobody investigates it. But now all of a sudden, everybody wants to be so outraged about Epstein. Like, give me a break. You don't give a shit about the rule of law. You don't care about fairness and justice. You don't. Like, everybody's
I think you really underestimate human sense of fairness. I mean, as I already said, if this didn't involve celebrities, we would still be outraged. I don't know what your point is. You think that humans would stand by and let children be abused or sodomized?
They're doing it right now.
No, the point.
If we knew about it, we'd be fucking outraged. If we knew who was doing it, we'd try and string them up.
We do know who.
That's not the point, DW. The point is that everybody knows that we have a two-tiered system. They know that some people are subjects of the law, and some people just do whatever they want. Everybody knows this. This is not a secret. They know that if you're wealthy, you can get off. These are things that are just thrown in your face. But yet, it's like they don't want to know. They don't want to know how the sausage is being made. They don't want to know the details behind the scenes. And then all of a sudden, we have this egregious case, but they ignore the everyday examples of injustices. And they knew that the system, that it is rigged.
Okay. Okay. By the way, guys, if you're that unhappy, Brother Marcus said you can all go and live in Canada.
Too cold.
Yeah, it's too cold. Yeah.
Too cold. No, Thailand is so warm, and Malaysia.
There's too many cooks in Canada.
Oh, jeez.
Look who's talking. The guy who's wearing another country's flag. Oh my God.
Coyote is here, and they say, "I thought you didn't care about the Epstein files, life abolitionism." That's what
I don't.
How careless of you to start going on about it.
He's talking about something that I wrote on my channel where I said I don't care, because the reason I don't care is because the hypocrisy that they don't care about everything else, but this is a red herring. They want us to focus on this and ignore all the other injustices.
Yeah.
Well, and at DNW, you talk about how people are being are outraged about it and how they're doing something about it, but no one is actually doing anything about it. All they're doing is just talking about it on the internet or social media, but no one's actually organizing to round up the people who did the crimes and put them in jail and bring them to justice.
Well, Kenny is talking about getting off the internet. He's saying people should be doing things in real life.
And what is he doing?
Well,
He's literally talking to us.
saying, right?
You guys.
No, but that's my point, right? Everyone keeps saying we should all get up and do something, but no one's actually doing anything. That's exactly.
I never said to completely come off the internet. I said be careful how much short-form videos and scrolling that you're doing, as per what it says in this book that I recommended earlier called The Dose Effect. Yeah, The Dose Effect. Everyday habits to balance your brain for a happier, healthier life. And that's a whole chapter about phone addiction and the effects of dopamine.
You're doing it right now. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I think
you're
when
doing
you
it right now. You're doing it. You're talking to us right now for a fucking phone. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, man.
I think once you start
it's not the same thing, because I'm not scrolling. Some scrolling on social media like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Well, I
effects
don't know
that
what to
has on
tell
your
you, son,
dopamine
but that's how we get
levels.
news now. Like, that's how we get news now. So, like, I don't know what to tell you. That's how we get entertainment information. I really
No,
don't know what.
look, you missed the beginning of the show, Fatima. He said you
You're
can
missing
do
the
it,
point.
but please don't do it for like 10 hours a day. Make sure you're.
Read
No
this
one's really
chapter.
doing that. Break your phone addiction. Okay.
Yeah.
I do it and then I come back to it, literally, because, like, it doesn't make a difference to the world. It's still a shitty place. Like, oh my God. Like,
Well,
it
Kenny
doesn't
already
make a
said
difference.
it's not that bad, actually. We started off this show. He said it's not really that bad out there.
Oh, then
Well,
he's
he's-
retarded. He's
No,
massively
yeah,
retarded. then.
he's naive. He's naive.
He's
naive.
naive and retarded. Like, there's no nice way of saying it. Like, it's zero
Well,
nice ways of saying
I
it.
mean,
The point I'm
that is-
making, by me taking part in this podcast now, this live video interview, that's not giving me a quick release of dopamine in quick succession. But scrolling on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok does, you know? And it goes into that here, that graph there.
Yeah.
You'd have to read the book in more detail to fully understand
The
it.
brain
but-
is getting fooled into believing it's being rewarded for hard work when it's not doing anything in reality. In fact, it's probably doing
Correct.
something detrimental for
You're
itself.
getting the same amount of dopamine in your brain, dumped in your brain by thumb scrolling on social media, by watching short form videos, different ones, because it's consecutive novelty in quick succession. You're getting the same amount of dopamine released in your brain, rapid fire, is what you would as mowing the garden
Can we reach
or cleaning your
consensus?
room.
I would,
Or going
I
to the
would
gym
trust
and
that, but I'm
working
pretty
out.
sure there's another study that's going to debunk that in 10 years.
Can we
so,
reach
like, don't
consensus
you?
on this point? This is one of the crises.
No chance.
This is a crisis involved in the web of polycrisis. Can we all agree that Kenny is right about this one, at least?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah, he'll be wrong in 10 years. Things change, brother.
Fatima disagrees.
Fatima disagrees. Oh, we have Count Marcus. Count Marcus, you haven't said anything. What would you like to say, brother, about the worldwide polycrisis? Are things really all that bad?
Yes, they're bad.
Yeah, thank you.
And what kind of, which of the crises stand out most obviously in your view?
Economic.
Okay, would you like to elaborate on why that is?
I think it's a clusion, like it's a clusterfuck of everything else that's going on coming together, and yeah, it's impacting people's day-to-day lives. They can't afford homes, they can't afford like groceries are going up, and that's the environment is messed up. Literacy is going down, so I don't see much good going on.
Yeah, I don't either.
And the jobs market is threatened by the looming AI takeover, perhaps, of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, economically, Kenny, would you say that we are pretty much kind of fucked at the moment? Are you worried about that side of things?
Yeah, but I don't think there's nothing that we can do about it. Like, Donald Trump is making the economy better.
Holy fuck.
Nigel
Oh
Farage
my
is making it
goodness.
better.
What the
Will
hell?
make the economy better.
Oh my God, dude.
One
no.
at a time, please.
The price
Please.
of eggs are the lowest
Holy,
they've been.
you're a troll.
The price of
You're a troll.
gas, the
That's a
price
troll
of
tactic.
oil is
That's
the
a troll-
lowest it's been since a long, long time. We're making the economy great again. And Nigel Farage is going to make the British economy great again as well. By getting
I'm
rid of this
sorry.
delusional idea of net zero. You know? That's what's causing energy prices to go so high.
I think once you start waving their Israeli flag, that everything you say becomes suspect because your loyalty is not to America. I'm not sure why you're wearing that hat because you clearly don't give a shit about Americans. You care about Israel.
You're right.
I care about.
Aren't they the same place? No, that's a joke.
Apparently they are. There's a merger between the United States where we're Israel's bitch and we have to sacrifice the American people for Israel.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay, again, I want to bring it back to worldwide problematic situations that we're all facing. LA, what is the biggest problem in the world at the moment?
I would say statism. Statism is the root cause of most of these problems and civilization.
Wow, I'm surprised you didn't say people having kids.
No, well,
going to jump in with that.
No, because
That's
like I said on my channel,
Come to Danny after life.
if it wasn't for statism and democracy and civilization, I'm not sure that I would be an anti-natalist. But
Oh
it's
my
the
Wow,
state
really?
control.
Oh,
Wow,
Like if we were in this, it's the
wow.
but it,
Wow.
no, because
Interesting.
Terrible.
because my main
You just
critique
revealed
is that
yourself. You
my
just
main
revealed
critique.
yourself.
Let me
Just
finish.
revealed yourself.
Let me finish. My
That was
main critique.
terrible.
Let
Oh
me
my God.
finish. You're not saying anything. My main critique is that when you procreate, you enslave people to the state.
Oh my God, you don't understand.
Wow,
about the
I'm
body
really
yet.
surprised to hear
You
that. I
don't
thought you were like an
understand about the
unconditional
body.
anti-natalist,
You don't understand
life
the body
abolitionism.
is the problem.
No, life abolitionism
Oh
just wants
my
to run
God,
around in
that's
the woods.
terrible. Oh
Life
my God,
abolitionism
you're not
just wants
even
to
a
run around
freaking
in the woods eating
antinatalist.
berries and squirrels.
I
No,
am.
but I'm not sure what he's talking about. What is so
Oh
terrible?
my
I'm
God,
gay.
you dumb
I'm
fuck.
gay. I don't have any children. I'm not
So
ever going
what?
to procreate.
So
I'm
what?
sterilized.
You are not anti-natalist.
Yes, I am an
No,
anti-natalist.
you are not an anti-natalist.
No,
Because
okay,
you,
I'm
because
being,
you're right.
I'm
Because you've
being.
got some idea that there is a right circumstance in which you wouldn't be anti-natalist. You just said that, which means you're not a proper
No,
anti-natalist.
no. What?
No
That's
way.
not the point. Are you going
No,
to
it
let me?
is the point.
Are you going to let me
You
clarify
are a
what I'm saying?
pro-natalist.
Are you going
You
to
are
let
a
me clarify what
pro-natalist.
I'm saying? Like you're
In the
just
right,
going off
All
the
right,
handle.
situation, you are pro-natalist.
Danny, I know you're outraged, but let life
I am
abolitionism
disgusted.
speak.
The whole
It's
point is
amazing.
that
It's
in a
amazing
state of
how few people
okay,
understand.
so I don't get to clarify. You're just going to attack me, and I'm the gay one who's sterilized. So you're the one with 3 children. Like, are
Yeah,
we serious?
I agree, but I'm remorseful for that.
Okay, but you don't get to attack me. You don't get to attack me for this. I'm trying to
I get
clarify
to
my
do whatever
position.
I wish to do, my friend. You've just revealed yourself.
And you just revealed yourself because you have 3 children,
You
and I
obviously
don't.
don't understand.
There's another book
anti-natalist.
recommendation
You
for
don't
you.
understand because you're not even. This is what you. This is so. Anyway, my main critique. Anti-natalism would not even be a problem without civilization. We'd be in a state of nature. Everybody would be doing their thing.
Oh
Nobody would
yeah,
even.
sure. Oh yeah. it'd be
Nobody.
fine. And everyone
Okay.
would be
Go
getting sick.
and grab some grass to wipe your ass and go and eat some berries. Life
Yeah,
abolitionism.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Go outside into
By the way,
nature
I'm
and
not
see how well,
anti-natalist, but Kenny,
nature
some of these
looks
people
after
are.
you. Good luck with that.
Kenny.
Come back when you've got your balls are frozen off, or some
Well,
animals.
again, I'm sterilized and I'm gay. You're not. You have 3 children, so I don't
what?
think you get to say
So
anything.
what? So what? You've just revealed that you're not even an anti-natalist.
Go
I
back to
am
a
an
state of nature,
anti-natalist.
No, you
You
are.
want to
Okay,
go back to a
here's
state
the
of
point.
nature, but
No,
you sterilise
the
yourself.
reason that I
What do you
am
think
an
about that?
anti-natalist is because of the current condition that we
Yeah,
are
so you're
enslaved to
not
the state.
really an anti-natalist. You're just in that
No.
You're
That's the main reason. That's the main reason. But
in another situation where there wasn't, you said in nature you'd be you'd happy to go out in nature and start creating people out there.
you're taking it literally. You're making it seem like there would be some condition where I would support procreation. No.
Yeah.
My point is that the reason I'm
You would support
anti-natalist.
procreation out
It is what it is.
You support
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter my motivations for being an anti-natalist. The bottom line is that I am an anti-natalist. So in some hypothetical scenario where we were not being oppressed by the state, it doesn't exist. So you can focus on that.
LA wants to burn everything down. LA wants to burn everything down. LA wants to burn everything down and have lots of babies.
No, I do not. I would never support procreation.
Why? You just said you would.
I didn't say I would. I'm talking about other people procreating. I'm saying that it is unethical for them to do it under this oppressive system. I personally still would never do it.
Why is it over this oppressive system? What's so bad about this system? If you've got money, it's not oppressive.
Well, you're probably doing the oppression, so of course it's not.
When you say you wouldn't do it personally, but would you be okay with other people doing it in that state of affairs?
I know I wouldn't be okay with it, but I think it is especially egregious under this system.
Now you're changing your mind. You just said a minute ago you'd be okay with it. You're okay with it because
no, that's not what I said.
You don't
okay,
guys. Clearly, don't understand the fundamental idea that it's sentience that's the problem. Sentience.
Let LA speak by himself solely. Nobody interrupt him. LA, speak, and please do it with your mind on the fact that others want to speak too. So don't go on and on too long.
Okay, the main reason, I mean, it's total enslavement to the state, is wage slavery. It's the fact that you don't have a right to medical assistance. It's the fact that you are trapped. And because of statism, because of democracy, it's like you have no control over your life. You have no agency. It's so much more egregious. I'm not saying that it would be okay in a state of nature, but it's so much worse under this civilization bullshit. I would think in a state of nature, your life would be much shorter. You probably would be much freer. You'd be much happier. That doesn't make it okay, but I'm just, I can't compare the state of nature to the state of society because we don't live in a state of nature. So this is some hypothetical situation. I think, okay, basically, I would say that if you're in a state of nature, it's basically analogous to like an animal procreating, where they're just free and they're just like it's not okay, but it's not the same thing. It's not even comparable to procreating under the state of society.
I have a question for Ellie.
Go ahead. This is a question for life abolitionism. LA, go ahead.
What the fuck are you talking about? You British cigarette.
So you're calling me a faggot? Is that what you're saying? Are you out of your mind? Like, I don't give a shit about your homophobia. Like, that, it doesn't land on me. I don't care. I'm very secure in who I am. I'm gay. I'm open about it. I don't give a fuck. You're the Israeli Zionist, and you're calling me a faggot? Are you out your fucking mind? You support terrorism.
Careful. Don't resort to name calling, please.
With your Israeli flag, you terrorist.
By the way, can I just ask just one little thing I wanted to ask you from before, because I find it all very funny about people's opinions. But there were, of the 66,872 approximate number of Islamist inspired attacks, you can call them terrorism or not. I'm not really so much into the word terrorism because I think it's just unfairly used. I agree. I think all states are terrorists, all armies are terrorists, whatever you want to call it. But of those 66,872, which is a conservative estimate for the number of Islamist motivated attacks worldwide between 79 and 2024, do you think they were all perpetuated by the CIA?
LA, you're muted. He may not want to reply.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know he was asking that question to me, but
no, I was asking it more to Fatima.
Oh, Fatima's gone. They left.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So, guys, anybody have anything else to say? Maybe we can move on to another.
Wait, but a lot. I would say, wait. I would say a lot of. Wait a second. I would say that a lot of the Islamic attacks were inspired by the CIA. I would say that. Actually,
so out of the 66,000, you think most of them were inspired? What does that mean, inspired by? But anyway, but
that was a psyop. The CIA would have put it together. The CIA would have,
or most of them.
I would say about maybe like 60 to 70% or so. I would say.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. So, and this Islamophobia business, like, I mean, isn't there some? Is it not okay to be at least concerned about? I mean, I'm concerned about all religions. I think they're all crazy, right? But the particular, Islam has, in particular, seems to me to be something to be concerned about because they are particularly backward in their thinking, aren't they? I mean, is it not? Is that unacceptable?
I mean, some of them.
I don't know.
I think the Israelis are backwards.
Yeah, but all of them. So you can say that about Judaism. You can say that about Hinduism.
Yeah, I think the real problem is that they're pro-natalist. That's the real dark side.
Right, but so are most religions, right? So like, so all of them.
So are the Jews. So the Mormons. So are the Hindus.
Islam is particularly barbaric and backward, isn't it?
Yes, but so are the other religions as well
I
too.
don't
So
know.
that's the problem.
I don't know if that is fair. When I think part of this problem is if you, it's the numbers. It's just that there's a lot of Muslims in the world, so it is a contentious issue. If there were a lot of Mormons in the world, we'd be saying this. If there was a lot of Orthodox Jews, if there was a lot of I don't know, name any religion, and there was an overwhelming amount of them everywhere, we probably would be saying the same thing, wouldn't we, about them?
No, because there's more Christians in the world than there are Muslims. But yeah, it's still the case that 95% of terrorist atrocities committed worldwide are committed by Muslims.
That's
not true. That's not true. It's about the classification. When Israel does it, they don't call it terrorism. Israel is a terroristic state.
Israel doesn't purposefully target innocent civilians.
Yes, they do. Are you out your fucking mind?
Wow.
You've been so brainwashed.
Do you have
The
any
genocide in
evidence for
Gaza.
that?
The genocide in Gaza.
Because
Genocide.
they're not
There's no
human beings
genocide
to
in
him.
Gaza. In
They're not
1960,
human
the
beings to
population
him.
of Gaza was 50,000. It's now
The Palestinians
2.5
don't matter to
million.
him. The Palestinians don't matter to him because he's apparently a Jewish supremacist who hates Muslims, and he's racist as fuck and homophobic.
The population of Palestine, the West Bank and Gaza in 1960 was around about 50,000. I might be a bit wrong. It's now between 2.5 million and 3 million. How can that be a genocide?
Right, but if
The population's done nothing but increase.
you're so full of shit. Because if the same thing were to happen to
Do
Jews,
your own
you would-
research. What you said
if
to
the
me earlier on,
same
do your own
thing-
research.
If the same thing happened to Jews, you would call it a genocide. But you're so full of shit because you're racist and you don't see the Palestinians as human beings.
There's no such thing as a Palestinian.
Right, because you're a statist.
No, there's no country that existed called
Right,
Palestine. There
but
never
there's
has
no
been.
state. There's no
Crazy.
state. But you're not recognizing the people. You're so focused on the state.
Let's go back to the worldwide situation. What is affecting people all over the world? You're zoning in on one particular region, but I think it's fair because that particular region is problematic. What can we do about that? Should we all just get together and get rid of that region so that there's no Palestine or Israel? Or should we just leave them at it? Or should we support one side over the other?
I
What
think
do you
there's
think?
nothing we need to do. Don't worry. AI is going to come and cull about 8 billion people probably in the next few years.
You think
It's
AI is
already-
gonna? You think AI is gonna get rid of 8 billion people? In the
Yeah.
next few years?
Yeah.
Kenny, what do you think of AI? You never mentioned that in your little monologue at the beginning about what is going on. You did mention the social media and such, but what do you think of AI? Is that a pressing concern for you?
I'll be honest, that's beyond my my knowledge and understanding. It's a very complex issue. I don't know enough about it. I do enjoy AI. I use ChatGPT.
Kenny, what if I told you we are
I
all
take AI art.
What if I told you we are all AI bots, and you have been talking to AI bots tonight?
Marvelous. I've enjoyed your company.
No, go ahead, Kenny. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Talking about AI, what do you think?
The people are worried about automation and jobs being lost, but you get unions that are pricing themselves out of jobs by asking too much. So it's getting more cheaper for companies to start exploring the concept of driverless trains.
Right.
To cut costs.
Chickpea, you're on the Find Gnosis show.
Yes, I know. Thank you.
We're talking about the worldwide polycrisis.
I
are things
clicked
really that bad out there? And if so, what are the most pressing concerns for you?
me. What Danny just said. Actually, I just come to say hi, Danny. I like what you said.
What
Hi.
exactly did you like? Because he said quite a lot about different topics. What exactly did you like?
The last one, the AI will get rid of us.
So, are you concerned about that, or are you supportive of it?
What's there to be concerned about? It's wonderful.
So then why are you bringing it forth as a crisis then?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't. It's not a crisis. I mean, it's a crisis if you want to hang on to life. But if you can see that that culling 8 billion people is going to put them all out of their misery.
That's a retarded cover.
Oh,
Tell us about
Danny.
that book there, Kenny.
Yeah. So this book is called Factfulness: 10 Reasons Why We're Wrong About the World and Why Things Are Getting Better Than You Think.
I'll give it a
By
rest.
Hans
That is a
Rosling.
retarded book. Jesus fucking Christ.
Let the man speak, for crying out loud. You all have an opportunity.
I haven't even started reading it yet, but it's very interesting.
Oh.
It goes into reasons like why, since the Industrial Revolution, that more and more people have been brought out of absolute abject poverty, especially in Africa.
Yeah,
And
but
one of the
we're
reasons, that that's been made possible is because
Oh
of
my
the
God.
use
Dude.
of fossil fuels.
no, but again, what about the fact where we're heading into another economic crisis right now, and everything's
Holy
getting more
crap.
expensive?
Do you realize that there's such a thing as neocolonialism from the
Right.
from the French, right? That still freaking extracts resources from the African people, right?
Right,
Like
and
you can't be
he's-
this stupid. You cannot be this stupid. I
he's
refuse to
trying to-
think you're this stupid.
He's trying to make it seem like the West is liberating Africa from poverty when they're the ones who actually imposed the centralized banking systems in the first place, and in exchange their fiat currency, impose their fiat currency so they can extract their resources, and then we're going to pretend that we're taking them out of poverty. You put them in poverty in the first place.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yep.
Literally, the French government's doing it, and with the help of America and blah blah blah.
Is it that simple, LA?
Yes, I think the West needs to stay out. They need to stay out Africa. They need to
Yeah,
stay
like,
out of
what the fuck
Palestine.
happened?
They need to mind their damn business. Stop trying to civilize people all the time.
Yeah, stop trying to spread like they're freaking everywhere. Like I don't want anything from them whenever I move out of the fucking country.
Stop
Yeah.
spreading democracy. Stop spreading capitalism. We don't want it.
No.
Right. And
There's
in
no
response,
such thing as capitalism.
what?
What?
There's no such thing as capitalism.
Then what the fuck are we in?
It's called, well, it was Karl Marx that coined what is called free enterprise. He coined it.
It's not free
capitalism.
enterprise. We don't have a free market.
Yeah.
You don't understand anything about capitalism. Capitalism is state violence. It's basically the right to live without working. Capitalism only exists because of state violence, which creates private corporations and allows them to have property which is divorced from productive use. So you get to own shit and enslave people without actually producing shit. It is a slave system. And what are you talking about? Capitalism doesn't exist. Of course it exists. Are you saying corporations don't exist? Are you saying property rights don't exist? Are you out? Like,
God.
You're so fucking ridiculous. Do you even know what capitalism means?
No, he doesn't. He does not. No, he does not. No.
Capitalism. It's not an ism. It's human nature.
So are you saying that profit?
No, it's not.
Wait.
No, it's not. It's not human nature. No, it's
free
not.
enterprise.
Are
He
you
called it
saying?
capitalism? Do you know why he done that? Do you
Are
know why
you
he
saying-
termed it capitalism? Why did he
Are
call
you
it an
saying that
ism?
property rights are they exist in nature? Is that what you're saying, or are they creations of the state?
He's making a naturalistic fallacy. Oh my God.
No, I want him to answer the question. Are property rights produced by the state, or do they exist in nature?
They're protected by the state, but
Exactly.
Back
They
in
don't
nature,
exist
it was
in a
mob
state of
rule.
nature. So you're full of shit. You just proved that capitalism does exist.
no, that's not capitalism.
Yes,
Yes,
it
it is.
Free enterprise, it's called. Is the
No.
real name
It's
for it.
not free enterprise. It's not free
Do
enterprise
you know,
because the only
okay, smart arse. Answer my question. Where did the term capitalism come from? Who coined it?
Proudhon. Well, I'm not sure that he's the original.
Proudhon.
But-
he
No.
he described it.
It was coined by Karl Marx.
Oh, to freaking criticize it, dumbass.
No, to make it seem like it's an ideology by calling
It
it
is
an
an
ism.
ideology.
Yeah,
It made
it's an
free enterprise
ideology.
seem
It
like
is an ideology. It is an ideology.
By doing that, he made it seem like it's something that could be defeated, but you cannot defeat human nature.
Oh my God.
No, it's not. It's not human. No, it's not.
human
So the Stone
nature.
Age had freaking capitalism? Are you
It's not.
oh my-
It's not human
Actually,
nature.
you're incorrect.
It's not
I
human
never-
nature.
It's human nature to want to acquire more resources.
It's a stated
No,
construct.
no, it's
Beautiful
not.
woman.
No, it's not.
You're
It's
making
not.
a
As the
fucking-
most beautiful woman will be attracted to the man with the most resources.
No,
With
it's
the
not.
most slaves. With the most slaves. That's what they're attracted to.
Lord. You know, I'm
It
gonna
is
have to
a
leave again,
status
man.
construct.
Holy.
It does not exist in nature. It is a status construct. And the reason women are attracted is because they want more slaves. Of course, women are going to be attracted to that because it's going to allow her to have children and be safe and be protected. But of course, why would you? I mean, it still doesn't make it ethical to enslave people to extract
Exploitation,
their surplus,
alienation.
Exactly.
labor.
Yes,
You,
it causes
you know what? You just
alienation.
sound like a fucking incel that really has a low opinion of women. That's what you fucking do.
What the
You know.
fuck?
Well,
Men
coming
are
from a guy who
attracted to
supports
women are
supports
attracted to the men with the most amount of slaves. No, they're attracted to the man who can provide for them. It's a primitive survival mechanism.
Well, some women don't want
The
that
man who
anymore. So
had
your
the most
argument means
resources
nothing.
back in the days of the
Some women
hunter-gatherer
don't want that
societies
anymore.
could
Some women
provide
don't
for
want that
her
anymore.
offspring and protect her and
But
protect the tribe.
He's not the one who is providing for her. His slaves are the one who are providing for
Yeah,
her.
he's not a self-made man as you would like to think. He's not a complete self-made man. He has slave as labor to help him accumulate the wealth. Holy shit.
Answer me this. What slaves exist in the UK today that are helping people get rich?
The worker?
They're slaves.
Yes.
So in
Yes,
that
of
case,
course
how
they
come
are,
they
you
can
silly
quit their
man.
job? Or go and,
It's called work
how
or
come they can
soft.
get a promotion?
It's called
You
work or
are
soft coercion.
stupid man.
So not only are
you
you
have to
a
sell your
misogynistic
labour-
incel, you're also a work-shy fucking bum and an anti-Semite.
I don't think
there's
that
no
gays.
fucking
I don't
hope for
think
you, man.
gays can be incels. I don't think. I don't have
You
any
are-
desire to
there's no
sleep
I
hope
with
don't
for
a
you.
hate
woman.
women. Oh my
If
god,
you
but
have
like
to sell
maybe
your labour to master
okay,
your
if I'm gonna
slave.
joke, I mean anti-Semite, okay, you probably got me there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joking.
He hates black people. He hates gays. He hates Palestinians. He's
Yeah,
just
suck about that.
basically a deplorable piece of shit at this point who
Yeah,
waves
who
the
doesn't even
Israeli flag.
understand capitalism? You can't even define. Oh my god, you give a like. Never
He's
in my life
taken
have
The
I
so
heard
many
correct
someone
name for
L's.
describe capitalism
capitalism
as
is
the way
free
you do.
enterprise. I
Like,
told you before, it was Karl Marx that coined the capitalism
It was not
to make
Karl
it sound
Marx.
like an
it was not
ideology,
Karl
to
Marx.
make it sound like it's
It was
something that
not
could be
Karl
defeated.
Marx, you stupid. It was not Karl Marx.
It was a sleight of hand. Do your
It
own
was not
research.
Karl
Key in.
Marx.
Who came
was
up with the word capitalism?
It was
Everybody
not
knows
Karl
it was
Marx,
Karl
it was
Marx.
Louis Blanc. It was Louis Blanc, you stupid little man.
If I wanted to hear an arsehole talking, I would fart.
literally, I
Beg your
looked the
pardon?
first fucking
D&W,
result.
I
Louis
really
Blanc,
find- Can I say
1850.
something a minute, please? D&W, I find this man's language very offensive, actually. He uses the C word.
He's a gammon. What'd you expect?
Right, and you're supposed to be so progressive. You're supposed to be so evolved. You're the most regressive, primitive piece of shit on the planet, and you have a right to say something about Palestinians. You're homophobic. You're racist. Everything about you is primitive.
Well,
I
don't take
wouldn't
my
say
word
he's
for it.
that.
Oh, naff off. You
Oh,
Don't take my
wow,
word for it. Do your own research.
Yeah, and
The
do some
Palestinian
research.
delusion
crap, man, Jesus.
by
Like,
Robert
And do
Spencer.
some-
like
I
I'm just
urge you to read it.
Dude, no,
Wait,
Jesus
but-
fucking Christ.
Wait, but again, it's not human nature to be exploited by,
Corporations. It's not human nature to be
exactly
exploited by
corporations and all
corporations.
these.
Holy shit! And dude,
Right, and all-
dude, you're wrong.
You
First
just
of
said
all,
it was human nature for women to be attracted to the guy with the most amount
That's
of
not the
slaves.
same
What the fuck
thing.
are you
It's not
talking
the
about?
same thing.
that's
It's
not the same thing. And also, you are wrong once again. I literally looked up. I asked DeepSeek AI, ChatGPT, who came up with the word capitalism. It wasn't Marx. It was Louis Blanc. Chickpea, you were right.
Thank you, hooray!
Yes.
I just said that.
So, dude, how can you expect us to think you have any credibility at this rate? No, you don't. You have none. You have zero credibility, zero anything besides you're a freaking golem at this point, a Talmudic golem.
Okay, so Louis Blanc in the 1850s says.
Yes.
Yes, 1850.
Right, okay.
Can we talk about the Talmud and what the Talmud says about Gentiles, about all the stuff that we're talking about with the Epstein files? Just come straight out the fucking Talmud.
Okay, so if it wasn't Karl Marx, I stand corrected on that one, but
Yes,
there you
yes,
are. Okay, so let me put it another way then. Yes, I'm pro-capitalist. If you don't like capitalism, the current system, what do you think would be a better system?
Anarchy.
I must
Anarchy.
say, it doesn't look. Yeah. No, I'll keep my mouth shut.
Worker co-ops. Fair trade.
Fair trade isn't like Donald Trump's reciprocal trade.
It's not reciprocal.
Right, so when you're saying anarchy, I suppose a slope towards that would be smaller government, right? Because Donald Trump has made the government smaller.
No, he has not. He's expanded the government enormously.
He's got rid of about 200,000 federal workers.
Yeah, but he's also
And
hired a
more
lot of them.
tax.
Yeah, but he's also hired a lot of them, like with ICE, right? So he's actually expanded it again.
And most government is not even federal. It's the state. The state is the one that actually has general police powers. That's the state that is making our lives a living hell.
Yeah. Also,
Going back to the issue of ICE.
guys.
Do you not think
Trump
that
has
illegal
had-
immigrants should be
by
removed
stupid
from the
man.
country, no?
Do you know he's added
Not by killing
$2.5
Americans.
trillion to the national debt? $2.5 trillion.
What about the 2 Americans who were killed in broad daylight? They're not killing just illegal immigrants. They're killing Americans. And I know you don't give a shit about that. Because your loyalty is not to America, it's to Israel. You proved it by waving that stupid Israeli flag. Dual citizen bullshit, dual loyalty, a fucking traitor.
The US is $38 trillion in debt. Jesus wept.
That's the flag you should have been waving in the first place. I'm not sure why you would bring an Israeli flag and then you claiming that you're proud to be an American and you want to make America great again. But
I suppose
you want to make Israel great again at America's expense. You want us to pay for your bullshit wars
Why is it at America's expense?
because of all the money that we keep paying to Israel.
Well, Israel's surrounded by Islamic countries that want to annihilate it. It needs funding for its own survival. So
I don't give a shit about Israel.
Of, military
American people should be put first. The American people should be put first. We need that money for our system, not for Israel. Fuck Israel. And in fact, I don't think that we need to stop calling it Israel and just call it occupied Palestine.
Nope. It was called Israel 2,000 plus years ago, and that is the indigenous name of the land.
Correct.
You're not indigenous. You are European.
Yes, I am.
That's back when it was called
I have
the 12
indigenous
tribes
blood.
of Israel.
I have indigenous
and
blood.
Canaan's land.
Take a DNA test.
So you don't. I have. Yeah, my grandmother has taken a DNA test.
You are white as snow. You are angry. I mean,
that's
you're
okay.
Ashkenazi.
Yes,
you're not.
You know when dark people mix with white people, the children's skin is lighter. Yeah, that's
you
that's
are
what
white.
happens,
You
LA.
are European.
That's what
You are
happens.
not.
Oh, you know what? You're not. You don't have any African descent then. You don't have African descent
No, I took a
you're
DNA
born
test.
here.
I took a DNA test, so I can confirm my bloodline. You can't.
Yeah, I can. Most Jews, no matter where they are in the world, unless they came or became Jewish through marriage, their bloodline does go back to Israel.
I'm sorry. If you fell by both tests, the pencil test and the paper bag test. If somebody would have put a pencil in your hair, that pencil would fall flat to the ground. The paper bag test, you are lighter than a paper bag. You are white. I'm not sure why you keep denying that. You want to be.
It doesn't matter if you're white, dude. It doesn't mean you don't have Israeli blood or blood that goes back or genetics that go back to Israel that are indigenous to Israel. It doesn't matter, dude. I mean, at the end of the day, we all come from Africa. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that that land was called Israel more than 2,000 years ago. Okay.
Right, but it has nothing to do with your ancestors. Your ancestors did not come from Israel.
And what difference does that make, even if it's true?
It matters because
You're
you guys
saying
are
it should be
claiming.
called occupied Palestine. Why call it occupied Palestine, and why not call it Israel, dude?
Because
you know how Arabs got there? You know how Arabs got there? Through conquest. It's called the Ottoman Empire. It's called the Ottoman Empire. They colonized the land. And before them it was the Romans. And before them it was, dude, it's so silly.
Because Israelis are claiming blood and soil. But if Germans were to do that shit, when Germans say, "Oh, this is my homeland and this is our land," and they want to exclude people, you guys would say that is racist, and it's a complete double standard.
They're not excluding anyone. They're not excluding anyone. There's all different people that live in Israel.
Okay,
it says here in this book that during
there's
the
not a
Mandate
genocide
period,
against the Palestinians. They didn't try to push the Palestinians out.
No, there's Palestinians living in Israel.
They literally said that
at least 20%. At least 20% of the Israeli population is Arab.
Benjamin Netanyahu specifically said that they need to go to Syria.
I don't know if he was talking. I don't know the quote you're referring to, but no one's pushing Palestinians out of Israel.
They're just bombing them. They're just killing them at gun.
You're talking about Gaza. You're talking about Gaza. You're not. We're not. That's technically a different. That's outside of Israel at this point.
No, it's Palestine.
Yeah, they're calling it Palestine now, but if you're talking about Gaza, you're talking about people that are not Israeli citizens. There are Palestinian Israeli. Well, you can call them Palestinian if you want. There are Arab Israeli citizens or Palestinian Israeli citizens that get all the same rights and freedoms as any Israeli.
Oh my gosh.
That's not true, actually.
It's not true. And this
is true. You guys are the ones making shit up. You guys are the ones making shit up.
During the Mandate period, when the British mandate Palestine after Britain captured it from the Ottoman Empire, most Palestinians referred to themselves to be Syrians and from southern Syria. In early 1919, Arab Muslims in 14 Palestinian municipalities called themselves the Muslim Christian Association, presented a petition to the Paris Peace Conference, which was deliberating about the post-war fate of Syria, Palestine, and other former Ottoman possessions. They refer to themselves as Syrian and Southern Syrians.
And the Israelis refer to themselves as Polish, as German, as Russian. And all of a sudden they immigrated to an occupied land. There were already people there.
Listen. Yes, there were immigrants. There was immigrants from all over the Middle East too. Almost every Arab ethno state actually forced the Jews out, and they went to Israel. That was the only place they could go.
That's not true. They could have gone several places. They could have stayed where they were, by the way.
No, they couldn't, because there was pogroms, dude. I don't think when you see people getting fucking beat up in the street and killed and raped and brutalized, you want to go to the place where where Jews are welcome and are defended. Okay.
Right. So only Israelis have a right to self-determination, but nobody else does.
No. In fact, in the letter that what was it called? Was it not the Balfour Declaration? In the letter that was written, saying, let us have the right to self-determination in Israel. They said, alongside anyone else who wants to be there, but let us be there too. There's everyone there. There's Muslims there. There's Christians there. There's everyone is allowed in Israel. All different types of people are in Israel and are citizens of Israel.
That's not true, actually.
It's not true.
It says here that in 1960, the Palestinian people were invented by the KGB. It's a propaganda tool to try and demonize Israel and the Jews.
I mean, Kenny,
That's the
that
Palestinian delusion.
Kenny, that's gonna fall on deaf ears because these people are all commies. Well, not
I know.
all of them, but the people you're addressing are commies. So,
I'm an anarchist. I'm an anarchist.
Yeah.
It was same, same difference. But if you, I will say this just to no, not to, so I'm not gang. It doesn't seem like I'm ganging up with anyone. Kenny, it sounds like you are educated about Israel, but I do not understand the "Make America Great Again" hat, like, 'cause, especially when you're not American. But also, like, I think that kind of it hurts the message, man, because even if Trump is supporting Israel, the dude's a fucking awful scumbag, and we should be able to have good centralized ideas about politics without becoming like really flippantly what's it called, dogmatically, gung-ho for that dude.
Well, the term fucking scumbag is a very emotionally visceral, loaded term.
You're absolutely
Would you
right,
care
and
to
that's
elaborate
exactly what
on
he
that in
is.
an intellectual way?
Well, he is a total narcissist. He I mean, he's
What about
definitely
his
sexually
performance as a president, though?
not good.
What do you think he's doing wrong?
Not good. He's fucking up the economy. Dude, I can't even, he's hurt tourism so bad. Like, so I'm a producer, right? I'm a music producer. I'm supposed to have these artists coming in to work on an album, coming into America, work on an album from outside the country. And now I realize I can't even risk bringing them into the country because his Gestapo is arbitrarily detaining people with legal visas, with fucking all the correct paperwork, people who have every right to be here. And they're just being thrown in literally in camps, dude, and detention centers. They're being shackled. Not like people who have never been arrested in their life, who have never committed a crime, probably. Well, I know that's a bold statement, but at least people have no record, they're not bad people. They're like they fucking put some old British lady, old British school teacher who was fucking on tour with her husband, just going across the country to sightsee. They put her in a fucking camp, dude, for 6 weeks. And that's happened to a few European people, European tourists. Now, it's like, I mean, obviously, as you think it's bad for them, it's even worse for brown people, man. It's not a good
Yeah, I'd
scene
have to
here.
look at the percentage of the people that are being detained by ICE that have a legal right to be there and who don't.
Well,
So,
I understand. Let's say the risk is low.
Let's success rate, basically.
Let's look at let's say the risk is low. I can't take any risk, man. I can't risk any one of the these artists being locked up in a camp and you know and or like, you know, losing a huge investment on you know, some record that I'm making because because I have to worry about a tyrannical like federal police force or you know, this is just insane, man. And I mean, I don't care what you say. Yeah, I think it's good. Like other good examples, like, you know, I could say, oh, it's good that Trump. I think I could say, oh, it's good that Trump got rid of Maduro, but at what cost? Like he ended up bombing some fucking fishing boats with that saying, oh, there's drugs in them. Why not check the fucking boats first, man?
Kenny, in your view, are these all just? It's just a case of mistakes will happen. There will be collateral damage on the way to a better future. Is that the way you kind of see things?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think of that, Noodles?
Dude, there's no there. This has not ever been an issue. It's never been an issue that someone who can present a legal visa to the people that are detaining them is going to be detained without due process. No access to a lawyer. No nothing.
What about the fact
That's
that
never happened?
What about the fact that the Supreme Court just declared his tariffs unconstitutional? You're saying he's so good for the economy. He never had any constitutional authority to impose those tariffs in the first place. So it's over how he wants passing executive orders without any authority, and you're saying he's good for democracy.
Well, I'm not too sure that he needed congressional approval for the tariffs.
Well, the Supreme Court seems to disagree with you.
Well, Donald Trump's saying that he can apply the tariffs globally anyway and redefine them in a different kind of way, is what the top story on Sky News was a few days ago.
Right, so he's going to find a way to evade
get around the block. Yeah, he can do
How
that.
about the fact that the fact that he's made billions with his crypto thing, and this whole tariff thing is just he's being a gangster. He's basically getting payoffs, getting bribes from the companies to let up on certain tariffs for their products, and the companies that can't afford the industries I should say, and the industries that can't afford to pay him off, they get screwed with the tariffs. And he's doing this with I think with industry, with other countries. It's like countries have to fucking pay him off. It's this crypto thing, the dude it's corruption all the way, man. And the reason I bring this up, I just want to point out, is it's interesting how we can all align on certain things, right? Like obviously LA and I disagree about Israel, but we align on other things. You and I strongly agree on Israel, but there's like I feel like there's a major disconnect with the whole MAGA thing. I think that's just an awful thing.
Well, the difference between me and other people that say the radical left is I don't demand that everyone else agrees with me. So I can really say to that is, that's your freedom of speech, man. You don't have to like Donald Trump. We have enough Donald Trump supporters in our gang, you know? I can guarantee one thing, though, at the 2028 election, it'll probably be J.D. Vance who's going to be the president. So there will be a continuation of MAGA, the MAGA Republican movement.
I'm sorry,
I don't see any Democrat winning the next presidential election.
What you said is incorrect. You are imposing your will onto people. You support democracy. You support statism. So I don't support any of these institutions. I am an anarchist. But
I'm not demanding that you agree with me, though.
But it doesn't matter whether you agree with me. You're using violence to force your way onto me against my will.
That's right. That's right. And do you know what? Do you know what? That's why you're my slave and I'm ruining your life.
Exactly.
Enjoy it.
Thank you for admitting it finally.
Yeah.
You're sadistic.
I'm crushing your soul, boy.
You enjoy it, and you're racist as fuck.
I enjoy it.
You're
Wait, why are you MAGA if you're non-American?
So MAGA for me transcends national boundaries. It's a bit like the pro-Palestine movement. You know, you get people in all countries in the world that wave the Palestine flag and want freedom for Palestine. The freedom for Iran movement as well. You know, that's
it's about the Western chauvinism, like what's his face talks about. Who's that Proud Boy guy? I forget his name again. was it Gavin McInnes? Yeah. So you're like into this Western chauvinism thing, right?
I'm more into Douglas Murray, actually. And he's got a great book, which I'm going to show you. The War on the West by Douglas Murray. Yeah, that's a fantastic book.
Right. So you're just going to show a book cover. You can't present arguments. Like showing a book cover is not an argument.
No, I'm recommending a book. That's a reasonable thing to do, is to recommend a book so that you can have a point of reference to understand why there is a war on the West and what Douglas Murray is saying about it. It's a fantastic book. You know?
We agree.
Well,
But yeah, I'm in favour of Western democracy. I think it's the best form of governance.
Right, because you want to use your democratic vote to impose your will on other people. You think that your violence is legitimate because it's democratic.
Violence? What's violent about casting a vote in the ballot box? That's why we have elections, so we don't have to be violent.
Voting is
to be fair, as a born again statist, I will say it technically is in a way a show of force. Like you're filtering your force through the system, so you get other people to be forceful or violent for you, rather than you actually having to pick up the arms to enforce something, if that makes sense.
Right, okay, well, when a political party runs a campaign, in like the Republican Party and Donald Trump, and he says he's going to deport millions of illegal immigrants to make the country safer and reduce crime.
Yeah, but he deported a bunch of illegals.
Reduced border crossings by, I think, 99%. That's an achievement, no?
That's not the point.
It is the point.
The question was
America safe again.
The question was
completely safe, because no country's completely safe, but he's making it more safe than what it was before.
The question was,
where's the evidence? Where's the evidence that he's making it more safe?
I'd have to look at the official government's crime statistics.
It was a non-sequitur. That's not even what Vegan Equilibrium said. He said that by voting you are supporting violence, and you said, "Oh, he's making us safer." You're supporting violence. The violence that is being inflicted against Americans and immigrants is because of your Democratic vote.
Well, not my Democratic vote personally, but people in America who voted for Republican, yeah, they're voting for state control to take their country back and send people who shouldn't be there back to their own countries. I think every government has a duty to put the citizens of their country first before illegals.
What about the violence that enforces property rights? What about the violence that takes traffic citations, enforces occupational licensing, which the work or starve coercion of capitalism? All of this shit is because of state violence, because of your Democratic vote.
So when you're saying violent to enforce property rights, give me an example.
I'm talking about the police coming with their guns and evicting people from uninhabited property, which is divorced from productive use.
So what gives you the right to go inhabit someone else's property? What gives you that right?
What gives them the right to own it in the first place when they're not making productive use of it? And the only connection they have to that property is a legal title given to them by the state.
Well, that's the law, and if you don't obey the law, then you're going to.
In that case, LA, I'm going to come.
If you don't obey the law, you're going to get arrested.
LA, in that case, I'm coming into your house.
Your laws are illegitimate because they came through democratic votes, which is illegitimate in and of itself. I did not consent to any of this bullshit. None of us consented to any of this. It was imposed on us by birth because we were born here. We're subjected to your bullshit laws.
LA, I'm gonna
Well,
come and
boy,
make
you're just
myself
going to
at
have to
home,
obey
and
those
I'm gonna
laws, or you're going to get yourself in trouble.
LA, I'm gonna come make myself at home in your house whenever I want.
Oh, that's not what I said. I'm making productive use of it. What I'm talking about is they're not even occupying it. All they have is
To
legal
say, wait,
title.
that's very subjective. To say you're making productive use of it, and therefore that's why you should have the right to it. You don't own it, right? It belongs to no one. No property rights.
You don't understand anarchy. Whoever makes productive use has legitimate title
That's
of it.
subjective. That is subjective.
Okay, but your subjective view is based on democracy, so you get to impose your view through state violence. I don't get to do that. So you have your
Well, what
opinion.
no, but actually, I agree with you on that. But that my point is that makes your idea of property rights just as frivolous.
No, it's based on natural law. And natural law,
Oh, see, okay, yeah. This is an appeal to natural law. It's like you can't even explain what natural law is.
You're not going to allow me to. You're just going to overtalk me. It's like in a state of nature. If you were to find some property and build a house, that would be your property because there'd be nobody to interfere with it.
Who says so? Who says so?
Nature says so. Nature
Who's
says
nature?
so.
Who is nature? Oh my God! This is like the belief in God. You are just like yeah. That's religious. That is a religious belief.
You're assuming
that is a religious belief.
You're assuming that I can't explain it, but you're not allowing me to explain it, which is fine.
DNW, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Let him try to explain it. Go ahead, LA. And please don't butt in when he talks, please.
In a state of nature, and so of course natural rights or natural law is a construct, but it is observable and it is verifiable. If you were on a deserted island and there was nobody there to interfere with your rights, you would have the right to life, liberty, and property. This is things that you would be free to exercise without any interference. So natural rights are articulated to express what actually exists in a state of nature without interference from other men. It's very limited. It's not like all these rights that people are trying to articulate now. It's life, liberty, and property. And so in a state of nature, you have the right to acquire property because you need property for your survival. You need property to cultivate land, to maintain your animals, whatever. And so everybody has a natural right to acquire property, but we don't have a right to acquire property because it's been monopolized by the state. So you can't just naturally just go find property and live without the work or starve coercion. You have to be enslaved to a corporation just to exist. So because under that construct, procreation is enslavement because you have to work just to exist.
That is all extremely subjective, and there is no thing in nature you can actually point to that makes it objective.
Go look at Africa. Look at Africa that hasn't been colonized, and they can just go and build their mud huts or whatever without any interference from anybody else.
That doesn't make nature the arbiter of anything. It just means
you're breaking up. The point is, if they go build their mud huts, they're not slaves to the system. They get to just hunt and forage and be free. Under this bullshit system, freedom is impossible.
Actually, there's also certain government protections that a lot of tribes have. Like, I'm not positive about this, but for example, I would say that I would imagine that tribes like the Bushmen are a protected group of people by, whoever, like whatever governments at least surround the Kalahari Desert.
Right. So
anyway, I would like to hear DMW.
Let me respond to what you just said. That freedom is from the state, which the state does not have to exist in the first place. So you're basically saying, oh, I'm going to give you protection from me, and then you're going to act like you're doing them a favor.
Well, I think actually the protection is to prevent other tribes and other people that like live, that are outside of that society from coming in and harming that society. So because those people could not defend themselves
Okay.
against like a lot of the modern technologies of people in mainstream society. Anyway, I would like to hear DNW's take on what Kenny is saying with the whole MAGA stuff. I'm interested to know how he feels.
Would you agree those Bushmen are a lot freer than we are because they don't have to work; they can just hunt and forage, and we're slaves. We have to work every day. We have to maintain property rights.
There's communities. There's plenty of community. What's it called? In unincorporated communities in America where you can go live like that.
You can't have property rights without a state.
They're unincorporated. So there are unincorporated townships within many states of America in America where shit is just abandoned. You can literally go take a fucking building and live in it and do what you want there because no one is giving a fuck what is happening there. That's like if you watch there's like
that's
the
not true.
documentary.
That's up to the cops' discretion because if the law enforcement wants to assert their authority and their power to get you out of an abandoned building, they can do that if they really want to.
I understand, but there, for example, let's say, okay, for example,
your
I'm just saying race plays a big part in it.
What I'm saying is okay, whatever, you could say, okay, yeah, technically it's owned, someone has some monopoly on it, but these places are abandoned and no one really gives a shit. The government doesn't give a shit, or they would have done something with it. There's plenty of people that are going there and they're just like making they're making camps,
It's an unincorporated municipality, which means there is no municipal government, which means there is no police force. But they still have a sheriff. They still have a constable. They're not unincorporated from the state itself. It just means they don't have a municipality.
Actually, a lot of those places don't have a sheriff now. That's starting to become a thing. Also, there is BLM land, which you are allowed to do whatever the fuck you want on.
Okay, let me just respond to Steve. If you want to debate me, you need to run me my fee. I don't debate assholes for free. If you want to debate me, you need to pay me my fee, which is going to be $5,000. I'm not going to be antagonized by you for free. I refuse.
I'll pay you $5,000 in Zimbabwean money if you debate him.
US dollars.
Look, LA, he's in the live chat. He can come on here if he wants. You don't have to debate him. You can just make your points as and when you want to. There is no need to have a debate. It is just a conversation. Why do you have to get so combative?
I have no desire to talk to him, and he keeps trying to force something that's not going to happen.
Okay. Anyway, you can go to BLM. You can go to BLM land and do whatever you want. That is land in the U.S. where you can hunt and forage and be. It's you can hunt.
Is there a Wakanda in US? Have they built a Wakanda?
It's not a Wakanda. It's called BLM, which stands for somebody help me.
Black Lives Matter.
No. Okay, can we be? It's not what that refers to. It stands for.
It's Black Lives Matter. What else does it stand for?
No, it does. No, it's not in. It's a different acronym. It stands. Oh, fuck, I have to look it up now.
No idea.
Black Land Matters. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Bureau of Land Management. So this is it's essentially it's not exactly like this, but it's essentially kind of like the international waters version of land in America. There's people, and this is what, like, for example, this is where they do the Burning Man festival, because no one is really technically allowed to come fuck with a bunch of people doing drugs and freaking out and doing whatever they want. That's why they do it on BLM land. So you actually, and there are communities of people that just go squat out there and like do exactly what you're talking about. LA, hunting and foraging, it's there if you want it. You're just addicted to your conveniences, and I don't blame you, because I am too. But I recognize that if I want to enjoy these conveniences, that we are all part of a society, and we have to contribute to a certain degree, and government is the fruit of the collective consciousness in these places. Now, I do just want to see if DNW is willing to share his thoughts about the BLMs, or not BLM, the MAGA stuff that Kenny has been talking about.
I mean, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to answer?
I don't know. I want to hear. I want you to join the conversation.
Well, I'm consuming at the moment. I'm letting it all stew in my mind. It is overwhelming to hear the disagreement and the anger and the passionate feelings. Everyone is coming at it from their own subjective angle on it, and they feel they're right. I'm kind of lost for words, because we talk about polycrisis. I think this is all evidence that we are all very much atomized. We're disconnected, and we're not on the same page, and it's quite frightening, actually. I think that's the major polycrisis, that we are so disconnected. People are literally living in countries they hate. They feel disenfranchised. They're trying to remove themselves from civilization. They're taking what I view as regressive steps, ideologically, and they're looking to separate rather than integrate and join in. And it's extremely worrying. Overall, it's extremely, extremely worrying. In relation to MAGA, I'm not so sure that the elites in America, the ultra rich, are the American population's friend. I do worry. I'm not anti-capitalism, but I do worry about corruption at the highest, positions, in the highest positions. And the Epstein files perhaps were an example of some of that. There were state secrets being handed over. He was hobnobbing it with all manner of people, probably emotionally blackmailing people. People are vulnerable to being blackmailed, to being manipulated. And the main problem I see in the world is dark psychologies, unresolved trauma, affecting people's actions, affecting people's outlook, and then making the whole world suffer as a consequence. Does that make any sense?
I'm just wondering what exactly. Can you hear me? Hello, mic check.
Yeah.
What exactly do you want people to join in on? Because if they're saying they want to separate from like this messed up society, I don't know what exactly like.
Well, it just, to me, it just looks like Animal Farm all over again. It's like everyone wants to start again, rather than try and fix what we have.
I'm happy continuing on our current trajectory. I think Donald Trump is fixing things very well. So I don't want to start again.
I worry about starting again because they're not getting to the root of the problem, which is, the malevolent side of human nature. And if you start again, you are risking allowing that malevolent human nature to take over in perhaps an even more dangerous manner, because there won't be any ability to police it. There won't be any surveillance. There won't be any of these things that keep an eye on it. And life abolitionism, that's why I think you're pretty naive, brother, because you want to go back to nature, but you're not willing to deal with or admit that there is a huge problem with human nature.
I think you're
Okay.
naive to think that democracy can be reformed. Democracy cannot be reformed. It is right, or it is the way that it's built is doomed to corruption. That this is the reason why we're getting these results because this
Yeah.
is the way the system was designed.
Yeah. You want to talk about surveillance? I mean, who exactly is doing the surveilling? Because if you're talking about law enforcement and all this corrupt stuff happening in government, I mean, who's hiding it and who's releasing it and who are you believing?
No, I'm not. I think the problem is always the corruption, the bad actors. Surveillance.
Well, I agree with you when you said it's a human thing. Like in reality, it's human nature to be bad. It's human nature to be good. Like this thing isn't just if you're a part of a society or if you're a part of a government. Power corrupts, definitely. So I do think that's a big contributing factor to what's going on here. There's a
Yeah.
accumulation of
Again,
power.
I'm glad you agree, but all these steps to start again, do a new system. None of them, in my view, are dealing with that problem.
Do you not agree that there's an accumulation of power?
Sorry.
Say again for mine.
Do you not agree that there is an accumulation of power and it's unequally distributed? So the majority of the population is being subject to unknown forces that we have no control over.
Oh, I agree. I do agree. We need more transparency. But this is why we perhaps need to work at. We need to be more progressive in some ways. We need to fix what is broken. But
I know how we could achieve that.
Start again. We don't need
I
to
know
start
how we could
again.
achieve
and
that.
stop expecting them to be our protectors. Because literally, if they are the ones who are doing the crimes, why are we expecting them to be the ones to go after the bad guys if they're the bad?
You can row against them, or you can row amongst them and try to influence them from within. I suggest to you, you're delusional if you think you can row against them.
According to Jean-Jacques Rousseau, it's civilization which turns people degenerate. Like in the state of nature, they're not as corrupt as they are in the state of society. It's the society, it's the competition, it's the accumulation of resources which turns people corrupt.
And why should we listen to that guy?
Because he's a lot smarter than everybody on this panel, including me, and he's basically the influence leading up to the Constitution. The most influential person. I would say you would need to look to Jean-Jacques Rousseau and John Locke. So basically, it was aspirational. They created democracy from a Republican form of government. Let me just correct that because we had democracies before. Out of the writings of Jean-Jacques Rousseau and John Locke. And so it was experimental. We had never had a republic before in the way that we have now. And so they got, I guess maybe their intentions were good, but they got a lot of shit wrong. The safeguards that they tried to impose have been eroded. And I guess there's so many things that they didn't predict about how our system would become. The main thing that they got wrong is they didn't understand that the courts were, well, they did, because there's a brutish, there's it's not a Fellis paper. There's a man called Brutus who wrote a paper about how the judiciary was basically, we have judicial supremacy, and the courts have undermined everything. It's not through like the Constitution or through statutes. It's the courts. The courts have turned the Constitution on its head. We don't have rights. The state has unlimited power. It's the courts that is the problem.
Okay, guys, I want to do something else that might allow for more constructive conversation. I came on this show and I asked Kenny, are things really all that bad? And he said no. I believe I don't. Can I ask you guys? Just say yes or no. Don't give me a long answer. Are things really all that bad?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The rest of you. One word, please.
I'm kind of in the middle.
You're in the middle. Okay. The Mind and Pristine. Have you got an answer? Are things really all that bad? Well, it seems they're so bad they can't even open their mouths. Or maybe maybe it's so good they're I don't know, having an orgasm or something. They can't. But listen, Kenny,
I think
you
they'll
said
get
things.
better. I think things will get better, and
So
they are getting
No,
better.
no, it's not. We're
Hold on,
screwed.
hold yourself together, please. Kenny, I asked you the question: are things really all that bad? You said no. Can you just give me a kind of monologue on why you believe that to be the situation, and then we'll go around the houses from that, and we'll see if that can help matters.
Well, since Donald Trump got inaugurated, he's ended 8 wars. He's trying to end the war between Russia and Ukraine. He is going to, I hope so, opt for regime change in Iran. It's a brutal, barbaric, Islamist dictatorship. You've got women who are brutally oppressed by that regime. They've killed between 30,000 and 50,000 protesters in the last 1 month alone, some numbers say. He's going to help rebuild Gaza. He's appointed a board of peace with the Gulf Arab Emirates states and 70 countries. So worldwide, I think things are getting better. And as I spoke about before as well, thanks to the Industrial Revolution and what some people call capitalism, free enterprise, millions and millions of more people have been brought out of absolute poverty since the start of the Industrial Revolution. If you look at human life expectancy since the 18th century, it's increased. Infant mortality has decreased. Some of the things that are getting worse is like mental health crisis with the availability of drugs and, like I was saying before, addiction to scrolling on social media. We're kind of more disconnected. And I mentioned earlier that we see couples on dates in pubs and restaurants and circles of friends. And instead of chatting to each other, all right, they do sporadically, but not as fluently as before social media. They're on their phones. And I think that's a big problem. We're making friends with people on Facebook who we never met, and we're calling these people friends. They're no friends. They're just people who we chat to and engage with because we have the same social media addiction as them. Disposability in the dating world because people travel a lot more and have access to bigger cities. And
Kenny, I want you to make the argument that things aren't really that bad. You said that things are quite good, so just keep on that.
Well, I said that they're getting. I never said it was.
Well, he was speaking
yes or no. I said they're getting worse and better in different ways.
Right.
You know, I think the mental health of young people is getting worse. But
you know, I really agree with you, Kenny.
1 second,
I think
Vegan, you'll get your chance, please.
But I think things will start getting better as well, though.
Okay, LA, do you want to? We're going to go around clockwise. LA, are things really all that bad? You got your chance now. Get on your soapbox and say what you want to say.
I think that things are probably the worst they've ever been. I think we have the least amount of autonomy we've ever had in recorded history. The state controls our lives through the disposal rights test. The state controls the disposal of our person, our services, and our services. And basically, we're complete slaves to the state. We can't even control our own death. We can't control whether we have the right to earn a livelihood, our property, and it's getting so much worse. And it's like we're at a point of no return, where it's total enslavement, where your whole existence is being a slave to a corporation. You have no rights because the courts have created immunity where the state can basically do whatever it wants, and then they're protected with immunity. Meanwhile, you have no protection whatsoever. You can't sue anybody to enforce your rights. They're going to dismiss it based on qualified immunity. No discovery. There's no anything. And so I think we're probably at the worst point in history. You can talk about how we're being lifted out of poverty, but it always comes at somebody else's expense. Capitalism is theft, or property is theft. You're taking from somebody else in order to better your livelihood. And for the most part, these resources are being taken from the third world through the exploitative exchange of this monetary system, this fiat currency that we have, where we give them paper money and they give us actual valuable natural resources. They're enslaved. We keep talking this shit about Africa, about how, oh, we brought them out of poverty. No, you put them in poverty through your monetary centralized banking system. They were actually living in a state of nature. They were happy. They did not ask to be civilized. You force civilization on them through violence, and there is no escape from it. If somebody wanted to escape this civilized hellscape, there would be no place to go because everything has been colonized. There is no place on this planet that isn't controlled by a state, a centralized banking system. So it's total enslavement. There is no escape. The only viable escape would be legalizing the right to medical assistance, which a lot of people are against because they don't want you to be free. They want you to be trapped, and it gets to district pleasure at it.
You finishing up now, please? Okay, we'll keep going then. You're finished. Okay. Pristine is away. Absurd, do you want to give your comments on in terms to the question? Sorry, answer to the question. Are things really all that bad?
I would say yes, and I would say it's a number of reasons behind that. I guess the first reason would be that humans today seem the most disconnected we've ever been from each other. There's not really a sense of community and togetherness amongst us as humans on a number of different levels, whether it be with people within their own families, nations. There seems to be a lot of like internal division amongst different nations, whatnot, and just in general worldwide, like nation against nation, like there seems to be a lot of division on that level as well too. So I would say that that's one example. Another example is the fact that as was mentioned earlier, right? We seem to be in an era where humans are experiencing some of the worst mental health crises we've ever experienced. Where so many different people are struggling and suffering with different mental health issues and traumas and whatnot, and no one seems to really be healing from them or knows how to really solve them or fix them. I would say another reason too is the fact that it seems like in this modern era, life today seems and feels the most meaningless it's ever felt in all of human history. It seems like people are really struggling to find meaning and purpose and happiness and whatnot, and it's happening on a scale like we've never seen before in human history. So meaning and purpose are things that are integral to human well-being, and the fact that so many people are struggling to find or create those things, I feel like it's an indication that things are really bad. And another reason I would say too is the fact that there's so much economic instability, and the fact that so many people are struggling financially. So many people are getting laid off, or even if they do have a job, they're still struggling to make ends meet, and they're just living paycheck to paycheck, and they're not sure where their next meal is coming from. So and it also feels like the rich is getting richer and the poor is getting poorer. So I would say put all those things together, along with the fact that AI seems to be taking over so many different spheres of society. I would say yes. Overall, life seems to be a lot more worse today than it was in previous eras of humanity. So yeah, life is bad.
Okay, thank you, Absurd. The Mind, would you like to answer the question? Are things really all that bad? Go ahead, floor is yours.
Okay, believe it or not, I would have to say no. I don't think I think things are bad, but I think things have been bad. I think things are actually been going on for a long time. We've been dealing with the same issues in regards to technology having an effect on uh, the environment and different societies, right? Like ever since the Roman times, they were over here saying that people who were living with nature were barbaric and literally stealing their agriculture methods and just different scientific whatever discoveries that they had, and then integrating it into their own systems and just calling everyone else barbaric after stealing everyone else's knowledge, right? So that happens all the time, whether it's AI or if it's people using some kind of tools to control other people and land. That's been happening, and I think finally through through many generations, however long that's been, because I think all of history that we've been told is a lie, right? Uh, uh, I I would have to say I think people are waking up and choosing different stuff. Like they are getting fed up with it. Everyone obviously here has issues with how things are going, and I would say throughout history, yeah, it's just been the same. But I think it's getting better. I think ultimately change is on the horizon, and things are going to get better.
Okay, so far, as 4 of you have spoken, 2 of you are abysmally bleak about things, and 2 of you are more hopeful. You know, you don't think it's that bad, and you think it will get better. Vegan Equilibrium, what would you like to say in relation to an answer for this question? Are things really all that bad?
I don't know. I don't know if they're like. I just think it's a yin and yang, and some things get worse and some things get better, and vice versa. And I just was saying, it's interesting how like I really thought Kenny hit the nail on the head with some of the negative social stuff that's happening. But I don't know, because I don't know about the economy, because I don't think I personally don't have enough money to know to know if it's affecting me. That, I think the economy's worse because of certain things other people say, but I think a lot of us plebs that are at the, ground level of things don't know how it really affects the whole world as much. I don't know. I don't know that the wars are worse or better. If seems like less people are probably dying in war. We have better scientific advancement for health and medical stuff. I think generally people are living longer. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or not, but maybe a lot of people want to live longer. So I think that, but the social aspect is like really shitty right now, I think. But then again, it hasn't started a civil war yet, right? I mean, but then again, it hasn't started a civil war yet.
You've got an echo. Okay, Vegan Equilibrium, is that it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thanks for that. Interesting. A bit of a stalemate there, because we had 2 people with an extremely negative outlook, 2 people with, I suppose, somewhat optimistic outlook, and then we had Vegan Equilibrium, who said it's a bit of a yin and yang situation. It's a bit of this or that. We have someone in the back.
Add one more thing.
Yeah.
Can I add one more thing about animals? I would say that what I just said was very human centric. Obviously, it's still real shit for animals. It's still a hell on earth. It's still a hell for them.
Oh yeah, it's definitely more. I think it would be more of a hell on earth now than compared to back then, because there's literally animal prisons. If there was ever a such thing as a prison state or a prison a world, this future would be it. Like they get rid of all the animals that we kill all the animals already that are a threat to us. So I don't know how many animals went extinct already. Like definitely in Europe, there's a lot of extinct animals because they like to kill everything. No offense, I'm just saying.
Okay, guys. LA, please, you are here as a voice for the pessimists, a voice for those who believe things are utterly shit and atrocious. If you leave, it is in danger of becoming a dance of the Pollyannas. So I don't know if you should run away. I have to warn you that Yerf Dogs is backstage. I'm not going to let this turn into a debate. I don't want a debate. And you don't even have to talk at the same time or directly after him. I will continue in this manner where we go around in a clockwise manner and get everyone's opinion. And please, I'm going to pre-warn you all. Don't call anyone names, okay? Don't call anyone names. Okay, there you go. Yerf Dogs, you're on the Finding Gnosis show. LA just left. That was his choice. What is it you'd like to say, Yerf Dogs?
Yeah. I don't know if my question got answered because I popped away for a bit. Why is it with regards to Trump? Why is there such a visceral I guess rage or opposition to him? My question basically is, do you guys who hate Trump, like obviously the way you do, do you believe that presidents before him were better? Is he the worst president? Do you think he's any different?
Yeah, I don't know who that's directed towards, because I don't hate Trump.
No, specifically.
Well, I guess for me, I think for me it's just that he's clearly like obviously a very very bad person, so.
What do you mean by that? He's a very bad person. What does that mean?
Well, he's clearly done a lot of very atrocious things. I mean, he's literally been convicted of federal crimes, and he hasn't even gone to jail for them.
Of atrocious things that he's done.
Okay, like for example, he has even though people have to deny it, he was convicted of rape and sexual assault.
He wasn't. Next.
Yeah. He was though.
He wasn't. You can't.
No, he wasn't.
You can't be a convicted arist in a civil case. It's not how it works. Next question.
Oh, you're saying it was a civil case?
Yep.
Oh, I always thought it was a criminal case. Okay.
No, it was a civil case.
Yeah. So you still got to give me three atrocious things that he's done that creates this animosity you have towards him.
Okay, well, there's the fact that, for example, like we was discussing earlier with the Epstein files, he gaslights everyone into thinking that it's irrelevant and that there's nothing to see there. That's an example.
Different from former presidents, how?
Sorry, say again?
That's different from former presidents in what way? Gaslighting, going back on.
No, I'm not saying that other presidents were better than him or anything. I'm just saying that because he's a president now, there's just a lot of things that I just don't personally like about him.
Yeah, I mean, but you're very short on specifics, and I'm
not. Again, I have more examples. There's also the fact that he screwed over a lot of businesses on his way to becoming a wealthy person.
Sure, but so what?
What do you mean? So what? That's evil, though. That's not right.
Look, have you ever owned a business? Do you understand how business works?
No, I never owned a business, but
right. It's cutthroat, dude. It's fucking cutthroat, and you just have to play a dirty game sometimes. I've lost big time in that game. I've also had a few small victories. Look, just the fact that he plays business in a very rough and ready manner, I don't see why that's relevant to whether he's or not he's a good president.
No, but he's not a good president. He's literally Israel's bitch.
Okay, but now we're getting into the.
That's just an intellectually lazy argument to say he's Israel's bitch.
But he is Israel's bitch. He's given more money to Israel than any other president.
An ally.
No, he's not. He's Israel's bitch. He's a bitch.
I'd say he's.
What about former presidents like
He's
Obama?
more of Russia's bitch than Israel's bitch.
Well, he's both of their bitches. He's just a bitch for everybody, basically.
Yeah, maybe he is. Maybe he's an uber corrupt goat sells out to the highest bidder. How is that any different from anyone who's come before? That's what I'm trying to get at.
I'm not saying he's again. I'm not saying that he's different. What I'm saying is that he does it more, and I guess in a worse way than they did. I guess I would say, for example, the whole Israel thing.
I don't know what that means.
For example, again, like I said, he's given more money to Israel and more perks and whatnot to them than any other president before him.
Is it okay? That's something you can back up with facts. Is that true?
Yes, it is true.
And so what?
What do you mean? So what? I mean, Israel is one of the most corrupt nations in the world right now.
No, it's not.
I mean, you know, you can say every nation is corrupt. How about that? And
Wait, didn't the Jews kill Jesus?
What's your assessment
Oh my God.
This is what I'm driving at.
Actually, it was Romans and it was Copts that killed Jesus.
Yeah, because of you don't know. You never read the Bible, have you?
I don't live in America.
Yeah.
I'm an observer. I think it's fucking funny that he's president. And to be honest, out of all the options that were available, I'm so glad that he got in rather than Kamala Harris.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I mean, but it doesn't matter who got in, though. At the end of the day, Trump, Kamala, Obama, they all serve the same, agenda. So it doesn't matter who would have been a
That's
president.
true,
Yeah.
but who's more entertaining, though?
That's the point, Jay. That's the point I'm trying to get sort of push through here. Everyone's so mega and anti-Trump and all this kind of stuff.
Well, that's what if Kamala was the president, I would have said I would have been saying the same thing. It doesn't matter who's the president. There's someone who's playing bad music in the background.
Fine.
Hello?
I just don't get it. I think, and the same goes for the mega side of things. The both extremes. It's very tribal to me, and it's. I think it's silly. A lot of these kinds of discussions about Trump and he's the worst, he's the best. Listen, that's just how
I don't think it's tribal. I think it's racist.
What's racist?
Let me tell you something about Donald Trump.
Wait. Let the mind speak. Wait a second. Let the mind speak. What is racism? What is racist? What is racist?
Voting for the Republican Party.
I want to hear from mine. What is
black
racist?
People voting for the Republican Party than any other Republican presidential candidate before him.
We didn't hear that because he was talking over. You want to say?
Okay, I said Donald Trump has successfully got more Hispanics voting for the Republican Party during his presidential victory and more blacks voting for the Republican Party. He's got the most diverse Republican voter base than any Republican president before him. What do you say to that? And younger Republican voters.
Well, I'm not the one who said that, who brought up race, but I mean, even in that case, that's like saying that just because a white person has black friends, that means that they're not a racist. But that doesn't automatically mean that you're not a racist.
And what do you think about that old C.S. Lewis quote that he'd rather have robber barons ruling over him than social do-gooders? I'm paraphrasing a shitload here. Because at least the robber barons, they sleep at night, but the social do-gooders, they will turn society upside down and create victims out of everybody 24/7. So I'd rather have a fucking bull at the gates, hell for leather capitalist and in power than a moralizing leftist wokist like Kamala Harris, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
If I'm going to pick my sides, that's where I'd fall. That doesn't mean I like Trump. It just means, hey, if that's the best you've got on offer, that's the side I'd fall on. And from what I can gather, the midterms that are coming up, it could really turn Trump into a lame duck if things don't go his way, which will be, again, the show must go on. That'll be an interesting thing to see. But I think it's good to see pushback against a lot of the leftist wokist nonsense that's gone on for the past few years. Are there mistakes? Absolutely. Has the pendulum swung a bit too far? When I'm specifically referring to ICE, maybe. Vegan Noodles, you mentioned the detained people were detained when it was wrong. Look, no one's gonna. I wouldn't dispute that for a second. That's wrong, but it is a reality of history that when the pendulum swings one way, it's going to swing even worse in the opposite direction. And I've been saying for a few years now, and not only I'm just me, but hundreds, thousands of others have been saying this, that if the woke left pushes too far, the pendulum is going to swing really hard to the fucking right. And that is going to be bad for all of us. So I actually blame a lot of this on stuff that's going on the left.
Yeah, whatever happened to good, like, old school Democrats? You know, they were like, you know, they would be considered far right by today's standards, but they were Democrats.
Right. The ground's moved a lot from underneath a lot of us. You know, I still maintain a lot of the same views I had when I was at varsity, millions of years ago. But now I'm considered a Nazi rightist by a lot of people. And you go back and look at a lot of the speeches that Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Obama made. They're just the same talking points that Trump makes, exactly the same when it comes to immigration, for example. So, the Democrats seem to have, what's the word? They seem to have pandered to the uber leftists, and this is where we are now. It's a real shame. It's a real shame because this pendulum.
Yeah, they're whores.
This pendulum swing to the right is going to go too far. It will. And I'm thinking also of what's happening in Europe with the Muslim problem. It's going to swing hard to the right, and we are all going to be fucking suffering under that shit. That concerns me a lot.
Wait, DMW, check the side chat. I think the Mind and Brother Marcus want to come on. But yeah, I mean, I agree, but again, it just shows that it's all an agenda. It's deliberate. The left intentionally has veered extremely to. Sorry, the Democrats have veered extremely to the left to piss off the right, and the right is just doing the same thing now to piss off the left. So it's all an agenda to divide and to to tear people apart and keep them divided. That's all it is. It's all an agenda.
But everyone has an agenda, so that cancels everything to me. And I mean, for one of sounding reductionist, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to might is right. There is no objectively true morality or whatever, or politics. So it's just going to come down to whoever's got the big enough brass balls to enforce the morality or the type of society they want to enforce. That's the way it's going to go.
So I guess I should become a fascist and then just impose my will on everyone.
I'm a fascist. I'm just saying.
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
If I can state my worldview, right? Like,
but if you look at this way, that's how it works.
Like, if I can state my own worldview, like DNW, can I do that?
Yeah, go ahead, Fatima.
All right. So, like, what I believe is that, like, I follow something called Eurasianism, right? Eurasianism is the idea of following a multipolar world, right? That's why I'm a big supporter of the BRICS Association of China, Russia, India, South Africa, and Brazil. Like I support those countries devaluing the US dollar and going against American homogeny and Israeli homogeny and British homogeny, essentially just Western homogeny, right? And I support anyone that essentially does that. Now, Yerf Dogs, you're right. Trump is no worse or better than any US president, but that's because he's just a side effect. To me, he's not the one in charge of America. And like if I say who is in charge of America, I will get flagged for being racist. So I might as well just stop right there, you know.
It's the juice.
Yes, thank you, Jay.
Okay, so I just want to say one thing real quick when it comes to America and like who's in power. And I was talking about racism. Literally, somebody asked me what is racist. Your whole mentality is racist. Like right when you started saying certain words and equating it to making negative connotations, that shows your racist mentality. Like literally,
Generally, who are you addressing?
whoever was equating who said tribal, they were like, oh, that's just tribal this, tribal that.
That wasn't me.
May have been me.
No.
But
No,
I
that
didn't
was
mention race, so I don't know what
yeah.
Well, yeah, it is a part of a race because tribes historically are directly tied to ethnic groups. And
Not
when
yeah,
we look
kind
at
of.
people in power historically, especially in America, what's the main skin color that all of the presidents were? Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't a Jewish skin color. I don't know what color.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was only like one interruption of black, you know. And yeah, so like yeah, so that's essentially my worldview. Even though I unfortunately do have to be a realist that, you know, might does make right, but like I still do see some of these actors such as in like the Eurasian world in Africa as well. Yeah, in Africa, three countries already couped against their French US backed governments in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. And I support those people getting back their resources. I don't know how long they would last because whenever Gaddafi in Bolivia was going against this, he was killed for it in the Bolivian civil war, and that was all, you know, NATO too. So yeah, so essentially, you know, that's just like the whole gist of me. And like I had to listen to some music to like, you know, trance and meditate. I was listening to some like Iraqi music, you know, from like the Saddam era, because that always calms me down with some Indonesian music.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to deny that America historically has just, covertly taken out regimes and assassinated and
Yeah,
done it.
exactly. And regimes
No one's gonna deny that.
Huh?
But America's not the only country that does it. That's just routine. That's just how the world works.
No, I would say that America has had a slight monopoly because I don't see Russia or China doing what
Yes, so
America
what?
does.
That's just the time we're living in. Before America, other countries had it. Britain had it.
I
After
know.
this period is done, I mean, the Romans used to have it.
I
Once this
know.
period's over in a
Of
couple
course,
hundred
yeah.
years,
Of course, yeah. But
everybody
like,
else will have it.
sorry, but what I see with like the Eurasian mindset, the fourth theory mindset as described by Dugin, and by like, you know, and just by being a multi-polarist, you know, I don't think one country should dominate. I think each country should have their own strong pole of influence in their own region. You know, like I support every culture having their own sovereignty, being away from the Central American banks, you know, being away from those people. And yeah, I support all of those. And like, as that sounds very idealist, and like I'm like a misanthropic pessimist, right? But I used to believe in this ideology heavily when I was a lot younger. You know, like I had the flags of all of those countries in my room. I still have them somewhere. And yeah, so like I still do have some empathy for those people going against America, and I always will have those empathy for those people. It's just something I can't break. I've always been like, I'm 25 now. I first learned about, you know, like it was thanks to WikiLeaks and the works of Michael Parenti, who talked about this stuff. He talked about the war crimes in Yugoslavia committed by America and NATO. And yeah, and like he just keeps on talking about it and talking about it. And so like yeah, so that's just what I believe. And like I've always been on board with like that idea of like each country having their own sovereignty away from the West, away from America, away from Britain. You know, each country just having their own to stand on without like, you know, capitalism or like
But I'm
liberalism
also
or
against China being in America's place.
wait, what?
I'm against China taking the role that America has.
What
That's
makes
inevitably involve force.
you don't think America doesn't involve force either, except like
You
more
know,
like
of course I do. The whole thing is built on force.
yeah, but here's the thing, Yerf dogs. China doesn't have over 800 military bases around the world. They only have 2 in Djibouti and in Eritrea. America has a shit ton of
Yeah,
military bases.
I'm very well aware of America's bases around. I live in Japan, dude. I know.
I know,
how
of
that-
course. Yeah, of course. That's like occupied by like the American industrial complex.
Well, it's like which monster do you want, man?
Yeah, I think that you're exactly right, mate. That's exactly it.
Which monster do I want? Well, I like the one that has a more ancient, a more like cooler, more like sophisticated form of life. Because Dugan talked about this. You know, Dugan talked about ancient cultures and traditional ways of life that don't follow like Western mindsets, like rationalism or individualism, in the political sense of the word. You know,
But look
and
where it got them.
who?
China. Are you referring to China?
Who? No, I'm against what the West wants to promote around the world. That is individualism and like strident, you know.
But are you in promotion? Are you into promoting are you a proponent of China and what they want to promote?
Can you please describe what China wants to promote? And I
No,
can.
I'm asking you if that's what you're referring to.
Well, I don't know what. Well, China wants to promote a economic cooperation with all of the world it trades with. That's all it wants. It's not. It doesn't want world domination. It wants to
Are you
empower.
sure?
Yeah,
Of course. Yeah,
I
of
disagree with
course.
that. China's been in trouble for already like smuggling in some kind of fungus and trying to do biological warfare. They literally have been getting in trouble
That's
for
by
buying
Americans.
up land,
The Epstein
and,
files already
around
did that.
government.
The Epstein files already disprove that the coronavirus was made by Bill Gates and Epstein, and
I didn't
the
say anything about the
vaccine.
coronavirus.
I don't care. But like no. Everyone
Yeah, I know
wants
you
to
don't
blame
care.
China.
You don't care, and you don't know. I don't care.
I do know. I do know.
Well,
Does anybody know the veracity of the stories out of Africa where China is taking a leading role in some of the engineering projects over there, developing the continent?
China's colonized those places.
That's not the same. That's not the equivalent.
Apparently, part of the deal is if the African countries can't pay, which most of them aren't in a great position to, they are giving access to their airports to China to run them, to own them. But not just that. I believe I checked this out, and I believe it is true. If the African countries can't pay, they're told to take millions of Chinese in.
This is assuming that
allow
this
the
is,
Chinese to
this
move.
is assuming
I think
that
it's happening in Goa. I think it's happening in Goa and one other country. Not Goa. Sorry,
Goa's in
Goa's
India.
in India. I know. Not Goa. Sorry. Angola. Sorry.
Angola, yeah, but no, it's not the same as American debt trapping them. Like America has been there way
2
longer
million
than
Chinese
China.
people, 2 million people from China living in Angola, apparently.
Can you please cite me a source, because I haven't heard of that yet?
I can explain a way of looking at this. Yes, China is making massive headway on the African continent. There is no dispute about that. And the problem that let's say the West has is that China doesn't play by the same rules that the West plays by. The West.
Why is that bad? Why is that bad?
The West has set up rules of business, international trade, the rule of law, all that kind of stuff. So they are actually hamstrung. They can't actually stop what China's doing without breaking their own rules.
Exactly, and that's their fault, not China's.
Okay, but if that's your response, then why doesn't the West just let go of the rules and fucking have at it? You either have a rule of law or you don't.
They already are doing that. They're already funding all of the terrorist groups in the North African region. Why do you think those three African countries? Huh?
Who's they? You said they're already funding the terrorist groups. Who's they?
America and France. They're already funding those.
Listen, I'm sorry, you just don't understand the way things work. A lot of the feedback I've had from people here, you know, in upper level companies kind of thing, they are hamstrung by what's going on in Africa. Their companies can't access the continent because they have to obey by treaties, rules, their own laws, all that kind of stuff. It's a really precarious position that the world is now in. You've got one side that just doesn't give a shit about the rules. And you've got the other side, which is trying desperately to play by the rules and to stretch those rules to their maximum limits to try and combat what's going on. That stretching is eventually going to snap.
And a war's going to break out, right?
And when that happens, that's a really bad situation.
I mean, it's inevitable that's going to happen because, like, the West already puts up all of those things on their own. They already set up their own failure by doing that, you know? By already doing that stuff. They're already doing it. So, you know, it's going to happen inevitably. So, like, and also, like, what makes them, like, more better off than, like, Russia or China? Because, like, in my opinion, like, what, human rights? Like, I don't know what that is, you know? I don't know what human rights are, you know? And as for the African situation, it's not the same
I'm
as...
sorry, I don't follow what you're saying. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry.
Oh, me? Because people want to say that, you know, the Chinese are evil and, like, they don't care about human
No,
rights. And, like,
everyone's saying the Chinese are evil.
that's the discourse I get online. Like, I see
Well,
it all
maybe you need to get offline and touch grass.
I do. But, like, yeah, but, like, people want to say that, you know, oh, like, you know, the other side is more moral and more, you know, caring when they're not, because they literally start wars all the time, you know?
Donald Trump just ended 8 wars.
No, he didn't, retard. He's going to start one with
Hey,
Iran.
no name calling. We've already been warned.
He's going to decapitate a brutal Islamic regime in
Holy
Iran.
shit. Does Iran have 800 bases around the world like America does? No, I don't think so. So
Fatima,
please shut the
Fatima, do you want... No, don't...
They
Why are
have
you...
bases around the world for a very good reason.
Okay, so you're a fucking George Bush era neocon then.
Yes, I am.
Retard.
Hey, I really do. I'm going to have to
Name-calling
put you on
doesn't really add
timeout.
any weight to your argument, buddy boy.
Well, you sound like
I don't know. DNW, are you there?
Yeah,
Is DNW
Fatima,
there?
mate. Please don't say that word again. Don't call anyone names here, mate.
Yeah, Fatima, I actually disagree with you on pretty much everything, but dude, just when you do that kind of stuff, you just
really,
get kicked off.
it really makes you look immature and unreasonable, and it doesn't do your argument any good.
Well, because
it's bad PR, brother. It's really bad PR.
Because
If you're trying to make yourself out to be the virtuous one, the one who's conscientious and a thoughtful person, that really just puts you back on. I'm afraid, saying things like that to people here. I'm sorry.
Well, make sure that Kenny also doesn't say anything offensive too, because
Yeah,
he's
no,
also called people.
yeah, what the hell? Like, it's almost
It
like I'm
goes
being
for him as
blameful.
well. It goes for him as well. It goes for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, by saying that America's 800 or however many bases around the world for a good reason, that's offensive.
No, not
No,
that.
it's not.
The name calling, calling people names.
I stopped name calling a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's the accent, mate. They're offended by the accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know that Donald Trump is
Well, they're
actually
jealous,
half Scottish?
actually.
His mother, Mary Ann MacLeod, was from the Isle of Lewis in Scotland, and he's got
Yeah,
two
no,
golf courses in Scotland.
Respect to Scotland as well, mate. So, yeah.
Yeah.
They're actually envious of the accent. That's what it is.
What was that?
Maybe.
They're envious of the accent.
Yeah, see, the truth is finally coming out.
Yeah.
I have some Scots Presbyterian ancestry as well, unfortunately.
As for him, yeah.
Everybody's got to brag about their Scottish heritage.
I'm not bragging.
I mean, my ancestry has.
They were Presbyterians who believed in what do you call it? What's that
Calvinism.
word? It's like the religious version of hard determinism, predestination. Yeah.
You
No
said
wonder I liked it.
Calvinism, right?
Yeah, Calvinism. Yeah.
Yeah, Presbyterianism. No, they believed in predestination.
Yeah, that's Calvinism.
Yeah, but that's what Presbyterian came from. Presbyterianism came from that.
Yeah, it came from Calvinism.
Well, okay,
Oh,
so
interesting.
there was a claim that Trump has ended 8 wars. Like, can we verify if that's
No,
true or
it's
not?
not true. It's not true. No, he didn't end
By the
war
way,
in
there's
Russia.
not 2 million Chinese people living in Angola. I apologize. I think it's about 300,000.
Yeah, okay, so that's not a lot. There's over like there's a lot more ethnic minorities in Angola than Chinese. Yeah, that's really false. And no, to say that China's colonizing Africa, that's just really false equivalency. Like they're not even the same. Like, please, like, I don't know where that even came from. Like it's
Well, I do think it's dubious that Trump has ended 8 wars. So can you enlighten us?
Yeah,
on
no,
that one?
he hasn't. He hasn't ended the war in Russia. He hasn't ended the war in Myanmar. He hasn't ended the war in Sudan. None of those things. So it's false.
So
And
what
he's gonna
wars
start.
has he ended?
And he's gonna start another war with Iran for no reason other than freaking like the small hat people are
Not
forcing.
for no reason.
No, that's not for no reason. That is a completely legitimate war to start.
No, it's okay.
And it's
You
not
say the small hat
gonna be.
people, I
It's not
take it you
gonna
mean
be
the
a war.
Jews because you're an anti-Semite, right? When you say the small hat
Yeah,
people, you mean the
again,
Jews,
I
don't you?
don't like. Be
Because you're an
careful.
anti-Semite.
Be careful when you say things on my channel, guys, because you're going to get me in shit. And you know, there are ways of saying things where you don't get me into trouble. So use your brains, for fuck's sake.
He's right. That's why he said the small hat people. He didn't say.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
kind of a weird
what
thing.
that fucking means. Come on.
Come on,
Yeah,
anyone
that-
can wear small hats.
Weird thing to say. And I mean, there's obviously a good reason to go after Iran, and it won't be much of a war because they're they're really nothing compared to the U.S. But I am curious.
Fatima,
do you know?
Fatima,
Can you tell us what? Can you tell us what wars
Wait,
he
D&W
has
asked me a
ended?
question.
Well, how's that? Because I wanted you to finish answering the question I had asked. What wars? What do you know? If what wars he has ended, or if any?
He can't even say it.
Kenny, do you have the information at hand, or can you look it up? That the wars that he stopped, the 8 wars.
I do, yes. So he says ended the war between Israel and Hamas.
No, Israel is still committing genocide. It's still committing genocide.
It's still going.
Oh my God!
He's ended the war between Armenia and Azerbaijan. A
That's
peace
been going
agreement
on
was
before
signed
him,
at
and
the
it wasn't
White
even
House
that big
on
of
the
a
8th
war.
of August 2025, aimed at him in decades of conflict. The deal included opening a transportation corridor known as the Trump Route for International Peace and Prosperity. He ended the 12-day war between Israel and Iran. He ended the war between
he didn't.
Pakistan and India, 2 nuclear powers. He ended the war between Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. He ended the war between Cambodia and Thailand, Egypt and Ethiopia, and Serbia and Kosovo. Next, he's going to end the war between Ukraine and Russia.
I think ending war is a bit of an overstatement. I agree that he has maybe been a catalyst in ceasefire negotiations or
Well, that's all he means by ending the war. So, you know,
yeah.
No, now he's just you're shifting the goalpost. You're shifting the
improvement
goalpost.
in relations between those countries. There's
No, now
skirmishes between.
you're shifting the goalpost.
Saying, but my point is,
he's helped end wars.
Well,
he's been a major catalyst in ending the wars. He's negotiated the peace deals.
I understand. All I'm saying is to say that he's ended 8 wars. From what I gather, that's just a bit of an overstatement. That's all I'm saying.
Well, not really, because no one man ever ends a war by himself anyway. But he's helped. He's done more for peace in this world than any other American president in my lifetime. In my lifetime.
Is anybody else getting that background noise?
What background noise?
The sound? Yeah, dude, me too.
What? No, I'm not getting any background noise.
Because it's coming from you.
Maybe it's you, Jay.
It is?
Yeah, when you talk, it crackles.
Wait, let me pause and see.
Like if you're wearing like a wired headset, maybe it's scratching on your t-shirt or something.
No, it's not. It's not scratching on anything.
Donald Trump is doing it.
Yeah.
Marcus, what's your vibe, mate?
Okay, is that better?
For now.
Is that better? It's not?
Yeah.
For
No, that
now,
sounds-
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it might start up again, but anyway. What's my vibe on Trump?
Sort all of us out, mate. Put us right.
Yeah, I don't have a lot because I don't know much about this stuff.
That's probably the most honest comment we've had all day today.
One thing that shocks me though is I think it comes down to people viewing enemies of their enemy as their friend, and I just think that's so immature and naive. Just because you don't like Trump, just because you don't like the corrupt powers of the West, I don't know why you're looking at powers in other places in the world as some kind of savior or some kind of emblem for a better future. You know, I just think that's crazy, if I'm honest.
Well, in terms of the illegal immigration, didn't Obama deport more immigrants?
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's true, I think, yeah. I heard that same thing.
Maybe there's a nuance to that I'm missing, but that's what I heard.
It's probably because Trump will probably say it's because he's got measures in place to stop them coming in now. And that's why the figures were higher for Obama, because he didn't stop them coming in.
Wait, what?
He just sent them home. So basically, Trump has the wall now, doesn't he? He has measures in place.
Do we have any numbers that can compare the two?
No, I think Obama was higher, but what I'm saying, the reason it was higher is because America didn't have a good system of preventing them coming in back then. So they were just dealing with them when they arrived. They were sending them home once they arrived in the country, like illegally. But now they're not arriving illegally.
But they are, though. I don't think the wall has been totally built.
Well, illegal border crossings on the southern border have decreased by about 99% under Donald Trump.
Exactly. So that's why it's lower. That's why it's much lower now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is a great thing. And
Whereas
I mean,
when Obama was in power, there was nothing to stop them coming in. So he was just cleaning up once they were in, basically. That's why he sent more home than Trump.
And I heard that I heard in the 90s that Bill Clinton, over his 2 terms, deported 12 million.
Yeah,
wow.
I heard that too.
Which is a waste of resources, really, isn't it? It's a lot of money, because that's all flights and stuff paid for to get people out and stuff, you know. So,
well, I don't know. I'm confused about the whole immigration thing. Like, every country has border control, so I don't understand the whole debate, to be honest.
well, it's just that there are open borders basically under Biden and Obama, so you could just walk across the border, especially in the south of the United States. You could literally just walk across the border. It wasn't secured.
Does Canada not have a border?
Yeah, Canada has a border, but obviously Canada has more stringent immigration.
Okay, so we have more stringent immigration, and yet why are people talking about Canada?
Why
All I hear is about America and how racist it is because it doesn't allow immigration, illegal immigration. But at the same time, other countries have the same thing. So why is America getting heat for it? Hello?
Yeah, it's a good question.
suicidal empathy, if you want to steal a term from what is his name, Gad Sad.
Gad Sad, yeah. And also Douglas Murray's book, The War on the West.
I suppose one of the points is, I think Canada's always had a pretty good immigration control system, but America has functioned for many decades with a secret layer in society of illegal workers working in kitchens, working in construction, working in shitty jobs that no one else wanted to do. And in many ways, that was propping up a lot of the economy because people were taking advantage of them as workers. Now, this was the case for many decades, so it was kind of, although it was illegal, it was viewed as like kind of accepted by society because it bettered society for the rich and for consumers, because it brought prices down and also allowed the manufacturers to pay less for workers, or the businesses to pay less for workers. So it was kind of like seen as a win-win. So because that was the kind of status quo for many years, some people view it as unfair that suddenly that the rug is pulled from under the carpet of those people that worked under that kind of socially accepted way of being. You know, they came in, they worked in those kitchens, they worked in construction, they did the shitty jobs that no one else did, and now they're getting kicked out. Some people view that as unfair because, yes, although technically it wasn't backed up under the law, it was socially accepted. It's kind of like a difference between the law and social moral values, you know.
It sounds like it's a bad idea to have that socially acceptable, because like we used to have child labor, right?
Yeah, again, yeah, no, whilst you're right, that may be, it sounds like it's unacceptable, but it is unacceptable because people get maltreated. But then what's the solution for these people that have been working under that system for many decades, or for a couple of decades? You know, I don't know
I thought
how.
there was a way for well,
Yeah, there is. You're right. There is. Apparently, Trump has said that people who have been adding value to society will not be getting kicked out. He's only going for the criminals. Apparently, that is what he's saying. So, you know, I suppose that does sound fair. He's only going for the criminals.
But can you separate Trump from what ICE is doing? Like in this Guardian article that just came out about that, you know, the people detained with you know, proper visas, they were saying that they're finding out that there may be a thing in place where he's put, you know, because he's put like $80 billion or whatever into ICE, these people are getting what's it called? They're getting monetary incentives to detain people. Like they're getting paid per person that they detain. So then they end up doing unlawful detentions, but they don't get in trouble. The person just has to sit in a cell until they get their day in court. They don't get a lawyer or anything until then.
If they have their papers, if you're illegally, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry about you. Go.
If you're illegally detained and you're you have your papers, that means you have legal rights, right?
No, that's the whole thing they're saying. They were not given.
There are bizarre cases. There are bizarre cases. There's a case of that English woman that Vegan Equilibrium was talking about, had all the papers, was
Do you want to pull up that article, DNW?
I don't have access to it. You can send it. If you can share it, I will. Or you can present it.
Okay,
I will when I'm on my computer.
Also some Irish dude. It's the same situation. He had I think he was even married to an American, and he had all the papers, and he got put in to one of these places.
I understand that it happens, like they get put in, but do they not have legal recourse to push back when they're afterwards?
The article said that they were not given access to a lawyer or to be able to contact people, or I don't, you know.
Okay, I'd like to offer a counter to this. So in Japan, the law is as a gaijin, I have to carry around my residence card, and if the cops stop me, which they have every right to do, and they ask for my card, I'm legally obligated to give them my card, which is it has all my immigration details, blah blah blah. Now, if I don't have that card in my possession, they can lawfully arrest me and they can detain me. All right. An incident happened a while ago where a Japanese woman was stopped, and the police thought that she might not be Japanese. So, of course, she didn't have a residency card, and she was detained. And that was obviously wrong. So my question to you, I guess, Noodles or whoever, just because you have these extreme cases, these outliers, which nobody's going to deny, and they're wrong, and they should be able to exercise all legal redress available to them, does that mean the whole system's messed up?
Well, I mean, was this stuff happening under any other presidency?
I'm talking about Japan, dude. It's got nothing to do with Trump.
Okay.
Do you see my point? Like, if I change the country and I take it out of Trump and I disconnect it from Trump, and then we admit that there are outlying cases where there is injustice. Absolutely, there is. No one's going to argue against that. But that doesn't, in my opinion, that doesn't make a strong enough case.
Well, it is only if they have, only if they're getting, if so the equivalent would be if are they getting these payment incentives?
How do you know the payment incentives apart from what the Guardian claims?
I don't know, but if
all right, so I wouldn't bring that as a fact.
Well, I'm not bringing it as a fact, but that's what.
Is it not more of a cool-headed approach to kind of accept that they're trying to make a progressive movement forward, better society? Mistakes will happen, but as long as it's out in the open and they're trying to rectify these mistakes along the way, then it's fair enough.
I don't know, man. It's just weird. It seems weird to me. It seems like, have we ever had to deal with this problem before? She showed the person her visa. Why is that not good enough? Why does she have to spend 6 weeks in the detention center? Why is it starting to happen to other people? It's not an isolated thing. I would
bet dollars to donuts that similar cases can be found under Obama, Biden. Go back as far as like these outlying cases.
We look for them.
And my point is, you can't make policy. You can't determine policy based on those outliers. They don't prove anything to me.
Well, can we look for some cases? Can we try and pull something up?
I looked up on Grok when you talked about British. I found 3 cases which you might be referring to. 2 of them seem completely unjust. One of them I'm not sure I'll go 50-50 on. So let's say there's at least 2 cases where it was a completely unjustified detainment. Completely unjustified. No legal justification whatsoever. Let's accept that happened. Okay. That does not, in my opinion, mean that the system of enforcement or the laws that are in place are somehow wrong. That's not enough to complain about the, in scare quotes, system. Mistakes are going to be made.
So should I not have canceled the plans to bring the Jamaicans into the country?
Well, dude, I mean, there's two ways of looking at that. Maybe the information that you're exposed to gives you a false impression. Maybe you're looking at it through the wrong lens. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, maybe you can forewarn them and say, look, this is happening. It's up to you if you want to. Why should you be liable if you give them the choice to come?
Because it's my money, because I'm paying everyone. And also, that's not even the most important. I don't want to make it seem like that's the most important thing. The most important thing is that they don't end up in a detention center, or they don't end up having a really bad experience.
Okay, here is how I would advise you to proceed. Either A, contact immigration directly and explain what you're trying to accomplish and give them a heads up. These guys are coming through and I'm an American. I'm vouching for them. I don't know if that'll work. I have no idea. Or
how many of them are coming?
Or
I've already reached. Go ahead.
Or go and get a lawyer and get that person to take care of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna add lawyer costs.
If there's a few of them coming,
I'm already going to. I already changed it. We're doing it in Jamaica.
That's what I was going to say. It might be cheaper to go do that anyway.
Going back to the story of the Irish guy who was held in custody or still is in custody.
Yeah, go ahead.
He actually overstayed his 90 days of his visa waiver, and then married an American woman while he was an illegal immigrant, giving him the right to change his status. He had obtained a work permit and was one appointment away from securing a green card. So this Irish guy actually broke immigration law.
There you go. What about the English lady? Her name was Karen. It's Karen something. What about her?
Karen.
Have you just typed in
I did
ICE detainee.
And I found a video here, guys, on something else.
Yeah, you're talking about the British grandmother Karen Newton detained for weeks despite a valid visa while trying to leave the US after a holiday. That's
Well, she went to Canada. They said, "Oh, your papers are wrong. You got to go back." She was coming back to the US from Canada, and then that's when it happened.
okay, but her husband's visa had expired earlier. That's one thing, apparently.
Right. But why does that mean she gets locked up?
Could be an accessory issue. I don't know.
We need more facts.
I don't know.
Guys, there's something here to watch. First victim of AI agent harassment. So let's have a look at this.
How would you react if you found a nasty article about yourself online? What if it wasn't written by a human, but a robot? That's exactly what happened to a man in the United States, and he's sounding the alarm on the future of artificial intelligence. For Tech24, Peter O'Brien joins me now. So, Peter, tell me about what's happened to Scott Shambaugh.
So he is a engineer from Denver, and he voluntarily helps maintain a database which is used by lots of software engineers around the world. Now, they've got a policy which is to not let content created entirely by AI onto the platform because it disrupts all the good human work that's being done on there. And because AI agents are proliferating, these are essentially robots that people install on their computers and give them a set of commands and give them access to the internet that can sort of run and do their own thing, even while their kind of owners are asleep or away. He's had to fend off quite a few submissions from these robots. So he did this a couple of weeks ago, and the AI agent in question the next day wrote a hit piece about him. Take a look.
The AI, which has a blog, has posted a 1,000-word rant on its blog, calling me out by name and defaming my character. So it calls me prejudiced against AI and a hypocrite, and says that I'm, acting out of ego and fear of AI. But the craziest thing is that it has gone on the internet and collected my personal information and, compiled this dossier of who I am, what I've done, and used that information, combined it with made up information, and used that to write this narrative. Imagine that when I go to my next job, HR looks at my application and gives it to ChatGPT and says, "Hey, go check this guy out." And so ChatGPT goes and searches for me, finds this, and says, "Oh, this is a controversial guy, and you don't want to hire him." And so the words have impact, even though there's no one behind the screen writing them.
So would you say that this is the threat that ordinary people face, or is it more the kind of people working in software who are mostly exposed to these kind of threats?
Most people's experience with AI is in a chat interface like ChatGPT, and everything that happens there stays within the chat box, and you have to tell it what you want. These AI agents are much more autonomous than that. People are installing them on their personal computers and setting them up with instructions and connecting to the internet and giving them tools to post content to the internet, send emails, and run programs. And then they walk away for days at a time and come back later to see what's happened. It's very much still in the experimental phase. And I think what happened to me here was someone's experiment. But by all accounts, this was not planned and it was accidental. And if anything, that shows just how easy it is for the next iteration to allow a bad actor to scale this up and impact not just one person who's pretty well prepared to deal with it, but thousands.
Okay, so Peter, it seems he's saying that these AI robots can be a threat to us.
Yeah, essentially, yes, believe it or not. He's saying that if one of them can harass him, influence people, defraud him even, then what's to say that this can't happen at a greater scale? And he pointed to a tipping point being the release of something called OpenClaw. So this is a piece of software that's free to access, and it's what has allowed people to use these AI agents more cheaply and more easily than before. That's why we had the proliferation of AI on that social media site Maltbook recently in the news. Now, I'll just remind viewers that it still remains very expensive in order to run one of these things and do complex tasks on it. But Shambhal says it's getting cheaper all the time. And he says there's nothing to stop a bad actor with the means to do so from letting these things run riot and doing their dirty work and, you know, blackmailing people, defrauding them, influencing them, whatever you like.
And do you think people really can fall for AI writing? Because there are some clues you can look for, right?
There are, but I think this story itself is a good example of what can happen with AI, because Ars Technica, which is quite a respected technology news outlet, they covered this story and they used AI to help them write the article. And AI came up with quotes that they attributed to Shambhal that he never said. So he complained, they retracted the article and they apologized. And actually Shambhal says this is an example where humans remained in the loop, thankfully, and they were able to apologize and right their wrongs. But if you've got AI agents acting autonomously and doing whatever they like, well, there are more risks involved.
And what can be done about all of this?
Yeah, that's the big question. Obviously, defining who's responsible ultimately for these agents is a big challenge. In the US, a lot of conversation has been around why don't we have more regulation on this? In the EU, we do actually. We have the AI Act, which is coming into full risk autonomous AI. But these things are developing quickly, perhaps too quickly for regulators at this point.
Yeah, there you go. So it's just about the AI agents that people are using, and they're being set upon and against people. Sometimes they're doing it of their own accord.
I
Interesting
thought his
time.
examples were a bit weak, though.
Yeah.
The AI defamed me by saying I'm a hypocrite and I'm against AI. You poor kid.
Yeah, but I suppose the potential is there for abuse and problems, you know. I don't know. Have any of you been looking at these AI agents? They got some kind of social network now for them, and then they're talking to each other. Have you seen it? It's really weird. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
What's it called?
I forgot, but I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with this blog post thing, I'm gonna look into that a little bit, because who owns the domain? Who owns the blog? Is it? I feel like there's more to the story.
Interesting times.
And also, so what? I could make a video against you.
Yeah, but I suppose the problem is with this is you are one person, you only have so much time and energy. But if AI agents are doing it, they could literally probably plague someone with thousands and thousands of messages, write thousands of articles in a minute on all over the internet.
I feel like if you're going to be reviewing something, and I feel like the more AI bots write against a person, the more obvious it's false information.
I don't know.
I mean, checking reputable sources is a thing, right?
I think the problem is that it won't be human eyes going over those articles.
That's right.
It'll be AIs reading the articles, and AI can't discern. It has no ability to discern.
No.
Is this real?
And then you also have the search engines, and you know they might give precedence to an AI written comment or article, that may be defamatory or whatever, you know, untrue, and then that
But
somehow
verifying our
damages.
sources used to be a procedure.
Yeah, I know, but it's we definitely
you think
have.
there's not videos or blogs against me?
Of course there are.
Do a
But
background check on me whenever
again,
I apply, right?
it goes to the potential number of these. I mean, this could become a situation where someone has thousands upon thousands a day rather than one or two every week or something. You know what I mean? It's crazy what could happen with these AI agents.
But when you're reviewing someone for a background check, you're supposed to check whether or not the information that you're getting
Oh
is
yes, of
reputable
course.
or
You're
not.
meant to do that. But we've had people in the UK attacked for being pediatricians because people thought they were pedophiles, you know, and they write stuff about them online, you know. So I'm just saying it is potentially very worrying that it's another thing to worry about.
Okay.
I mean, the average Joe, the average citizen, the average person on the internet isn't checking sources. You know, they're getting carried away by.
I don't care about other people on the internet. I care about whether or not institutions are fact checking or not.
Oh right, yeah, but I wasn't really.
I could say I like vanilla ice cream. There'll be a whole bunch of people who want me death threats for just that one statement. Like that's just the nature of the internet at this point. Like it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
if it's going to impact my career, it's going to impact volunteering or other like getting into a school. That's where I'm more concerned about.
It could do though. It could do.
It could, yeah.
And you'll never find out the answer for the rejection, the reason for the rejection.
Right.
Because if there's enough, for example, if there's enough content online saying bad things about you, some people might say, well, where did the AI get the? If they do say, oh, that's AI, they might say, well, where did the AI get the information from? Did they make it up, or is it based on a truth? You know, and they may be not willing to take the risk. They may say, well, I'm not willing to take a risk. Maybe the AI got that from true information, but I just can't find it because there's so much about the person on the internet that they can't even begin to find out whether it's true or not. You know.
Gentlemen, it's
time to hit the
40
road.
minutes past midnight here in the UK, so I'm going to head to my bed now. It was lovely chatting with you all. Agree or disagree, I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I hope to chat to you soon.
Yeah, do come back again. The Finding Gnosis show. You'll find us on YouTube. So thanks, Kenny.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Have a great evening, day, morning, wherever you are in the world. See you.
Okay, folks. Sorry, go ahead.
I think he handled himself well, given he was the minority on the panel. You think so?
Certainly ruffled a few feathers, and yeah, I suppose it was related.
The mudslinging, like it, you know.
Well, it is the kind of. I suppose that's one of the number one That is the number one crisis in maybe the polycrisis is how fractured we are as a society. We've got fractures within fractures. You know, we've been blown to smithereens. Everybody is against everybody.
Well, it kind of cracks me up how people are so certain of their positions, and they're so adamant that they're right, and they're just doom scrolling. That's where they get their information from. I find that so funny. So funny.
Okay. Does anybody want to say something in closing? I think we'll close the show. Actually, it is late. Pristine Son, you've been very quiet. Are you there now?
And she
might
continues to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I just don't have much to say about this topic. I don't know much about politics, to be honest.
Okay, thanks, Pristine. Maybe next time you can suggest the topic. Yerf Dogs, do you want to say something in closing then?
Cheers. Cheers for the stream, mate. Good on you.
Brother Marcus, do you want to say something?
Interesting topic. Thanks for the stream. And I will continue to joyful scroll.
Joyful scroll, yeah. Fatima, the last word for you. Everybody watching, thanks for watching. Do come back next time. Fatima, go ahead.
Thank you for the stream. You know, I am who I am, and I can't really, you know, mesh with other people like that. So this is how I am. You know, I operate like this, but at least I'm not hurting anyone. You know.
Okay. All right, then. I'm just going to click end stream. Okay. Thank you, everybody.